Go ahead.
Okay, we're live. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. That was really embarrassing. I feel very bad. Oh well.
Yep.
Oh well.
Yep.
I should have realized when I realized when I looked up and saw stream elements and it said Struggle Punk 2 is now live streaming Jackbox party packs, Jackbox with the crew.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I'm a dipshit. I
Wait,
going right to hell.
what is the crew streaming tonight?
Oh, they're doing Gardic, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My stomach, stop. Stop.
Stop! You're making us look bad. Fucking chill. Right.
Please.
Anyways, if it was an ordinary mirror, that would probably give you a terribly bad impression of its value. Is Shannon Beatrice? Because this is really this whole segment, especially when you look at it as no, this is clear because this is clearly Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole thing reads like, yes, she was actually Beatrice. This is part of her decision to become Beatrice.
We shall see.
However, the mirror had been offered to the small shrine, but that quality made me feel some kind of divinity from it, and I realized this was not merely a mirror. Even if it was nothing more than an old-looking mirror to a non-believer like myself, in actuality, was a mirror that had an important meaning. Is it really alright to break it after being captivated by honeyed words? No, this is no mirror. It is the inescapable life I have lived until today, my fate. Break it. Break it and seize a new life from beyond the mirror. If I don't break it, my life will forever be a pair of facing mirrors. Nothing will ever change in the slightest. The witch whispers. She tempts me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. Or maybe I've already had a taste of that fruit, because I ended up knowing those maddening emotions. Just as Adam and Eve felt compelled to pluck the fig leaf, I can no longer go without breaking this mirror. This is after the typhoon started.
Which typhoon?
I am assuming this is during the typhoon that traps them.
Please keep reading. I don't really want to explain things.
Okay, I fought with conflict for many days. Inside my heart, the virtuous part of me and the part that sided with the witch repeatedly fought each other. Oh, many days. Okay, so maybe not. Now here I am. Did the part of me who is here win or lose? There's only one thing I know. To obtain something, you must be ready to lose something. The cowards who don't risk loss and never try to change anything will never be given the key to open the path to a new future. Okay, Kenzo, calm down. The key is already in my hands. It is to break this. To break it. Is there any other effort I can make as furniture imprisoned on Rokunjima? Imprisoned on Rokunjima? No, there's nothing but this. Come, have courage. I'll free myself from being mere furniture. I'll accept my new sufferings and become human. These are surely the small and large trials I must impose on myself. Now, break it. Break the eternally unchangeable fate that imprisons me into pieces. I raised it high, thought back on all those days of conflict, and after a time far too brief to do them justice, finished my reflections and threw it. Thunder roared, crying out against me for my outrageous act. It was truly the wrath of the angels preparing to banish me from eternal paradise. I looked down on the mirror tumbling at my feet, broken into two equal parts. And, having made sure I accomplished my task, I looked up at the enraged sky and screamed. I kept the promise. Good job, Shan. You know what? You know how I was just complaining that Shannon feels like a little underwritten? And she's
Mm-hmm.
maybe the most boring of them all? Good! This is good! They immediately saw what I was doing and was like, yeah, fuck, keep reading, bitch. Now, it's your turn to keep your promise with me, right? Thunder roared once more. I had already been banished from paradise, so I'd have to struggle by myself in order to live. The witch had said it. That's a single element of the world. To lose it means to lose the world. Like how a flask with a hole in the bottom can't be filled, no matter how much water you scoop into it. I kept the promise. Now it's your turn to keep your promise. Please, grant my wish.
Yeah.
Please kill this George motherfucker. Please, God, kill him.
I think you're projecting a little.
Oh, is this cool for me to watch? Or do I want to skip this? Because it's showing up now in the game.
Let me see.
I think it's the same one.
Yeah, it looks kind of the same. Get rid of it.
Okay, I can't. I can't.
What?
I'm trying to click. Okay. Do they do this in the beginning of every single one of the games?
I think they do. I think they treat it like a anime.
It's just the OP.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I love these two characters. I have no idea. Like fucking somebody in a band. Beatrice has a legion of like schoolgirls who are allergic to wearing pants.
Yeah, a lot of the like fantasy characters are very.
Shannon's doing fucking like magic circles and like barriers and shit.
And Battler's still like, nah, not real.
Battler's like, nah, this is fake as shit, dog. And Beatrice is like, I can't do shit until he says yes. I don't make the rules.
I'm okay with watching the opening like once per episode.
Yeah.
But not like once per stream. That starts to become a bit excessive.
Yeah. Who is that lady? Because she's on a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of characters we're gonna meet.
Sure,
now that we
guess,
finally met.
But I see that one. But I see that one a lot.
Hey, Dagger. X.
Hey, Dagger. I'd like to apologize to everyone who misses out on the stream because I fucking mislabeled that shit. My mind wandered. Back to the days where I could barely imagine the happiness I have today. I was a middle schooler at the time, an ordinary girl who dreamed about love, as is normal at that age. But I really should not have dreamed that dream, because I am furniture. Furniture is nothing more than a tool, and is not human. For a person less than human, such as myself, just receiving my education was more than sufficient happiness. So even thinking about love was more than I deserved. Girl, you gotta stand up for yourself a little bit more. The Ushiromiya family conference was a customary event held every October. Relatives would occasionally visit at other times as well. Of course, they didn't come just to drink tea. One day, on this day, Ava's family visited from the head family on Rokenjima. Visited the head family on Rokenjima. 3 people from Krause's family, 3 people from Krause's family, and 3 people from Ava's family had gathered in the parlor. We were having a friendly chat as they updated everyone on their situations. And she had supposedly told Kinzo of Ava's family's arrival, but he hadn't come down yet. He was probably immersed in his own research and couldn't spare the time. This often happens, so the others waited patiently for their fickle father to come down. Oh!
This asshole.
Okay, I don't like Krause, and I didn't miss him at all. I do kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
I like it when characters go, oh. Soka. That does sound promising. Study a lot at your father's and do your best to become able to help him soon. Thank you so very much. My father has introduced me to or provided me a truly valuable study. Everything I learned is something that can't be learned in school. It's not language or math you learn in school. What you study is the attitude to have towards studying. Yeah, that's fair. Wondered how you knew I was here and was accidental key smash. Glad it wasn't something stupid.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we just psychically like I feel like Dagger's in the chat.
I was wondering, like, what the hell were you talking about, X?
Once you take it form that basis, you can finally start a long period of study that'll last you your entire life. People who don't get this
Hideyoshi.
Hideyoshi is maybe it's crazy that he's maybe my favorite of the adults.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, I mean, there's a little bit like a fakeness about him. Like I have to I do have to constantly think about how the fact that like it's a fake accent.
He's putting on this look.
But like at the same time, like it's all good shit. So like, fucking
go ahead.
Whatever. People who don't get this will spend the rest of their lives with rocks for brains, totally unable to absorb knowledge. They might get full marks in math and language, but they'll be useless for their company. That is exactly right. Both of these guys are idiots, though, who make bad decisions.
Krause is huge.
Yeah, Krause is huge. I've noticed that it feels like Krause's line art is like kind of fucked. Like I'm looking around his nose and I'm like, what the fuck is that line? Why does he have that ridge next to his nose on the far
the
side?
shading.
Yeah,
it's a weird choice.
And then like his collarbone has like a weird fold where like it's like a part of his collarbone is stuck up above like the back.
Yeah.
It's like right around here, you know? All I'm saying is that he could never be Hideyoshi. Look at him and his perfection. Hideyoshi-san, your education policy is always truly excellent. I think it would be really funny if like just Krause like dies like really early every single time.
Oh my god.
He's just like, he's dead. He's like the first round of murders every time, no matter what the circumstances are. Like, even if he like really tries to make sure, like somebody tries to really hard to make sure he lives, like he just manages to like, you just find him in like the fucking Family Guy death pose.
I'm dead. And so was Krause.
Hideyoshi-san, your education policy is truly excellent. Oh, I almost dropped the cap.
That's cap.
Thanks. Thanks, Zoomer.
You're welcome.
You're not a full man yet, George. Always keep that in mind and embrace your studies. Oh, stop that, honey. George is always doing his very best, unlike my bitch sister-in-law's fucking useless daughter. Aren't you? Truly excellent. I wish our Jessica would learn from him. Jessica, Nazi, no, don't open yourself up to this. You've fallen into, you've made a classic blunder. Oh, okay. Hey, Jessica. Are you still holding a grudge about my test scores? I said I am studying for the exam. I'm doing it my own way. You know, by thinking a lot about what canon looks like naked.
And going to sleep earlier.
Yeah. You didn't have to bring it up here as well. Cram it already. And George was praised for his diligence. The conversation would nearly always turn to Jessica, who hated studying. Jessica made an openly displeased face, as though she had known it would come back to her. My. In addition to the studying, I think you need to learn to speak a little more ladylike, don't you? It's quite shameful for a daughter who bears the Ushiromi family crest.
It is kind of funny that Krause says this all with like a smile.
Oh,
like he doesn't seem to sound like he cares.
Oh, but this is charming in itself, don't you think? Times change. The times where we had to feign purity in order for a man to allow us to eat ended a long time ago. This is weird. I think it's like, I can't tell if this is like Ava kind of like genuinely doesn't hate like Jessica at all, or if it's like she's doing this to like undermine what Natsuhi's doing. I can't tell. Like she's just you don't have to do that. She's just like fucking laughing because Natsuhi's getting undermined and like she's like countermanding Natsuhi right in front of her face, and also
both,
like,
to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a little bit of both columns in that one.
Because I think Ava hates that she was born a woman, just she like is more capable than Krause, but because she's a woman.
Ava's a feminist icon as long as it doesn't come to Natsuhi. She supports women except for the one woman.
Yeah.
Once again, it's really crazy how toxic Yuri their relationship is. I think it's really funny. Yeah, I knew you'd understand, Auntie Ava. This is like you see, your daughter loves me more than you.
Yeah, this is double.
Yeah, yep, definitely. There was definitely 2 columns on this one. My headache is truly trying today. You alright? Natsuhi, your face looks off color. Thank you, I am alright. But time really has flown. Feels like just yesterday when you would all run around half naked by the beach and come back soaked. Wasn't Jessica-chan the same? And now she's a lady who fusses over how to put on makeup. I like how she said, like, lady. 1 second, I want to replay that voice line. You really are particular about your eyebrows. You look really cute today. Okay, this is definitely, like, she really likes, like, her niece, but also, like, this is a way to get back. It is definitely both sides of this. Thank you very much. Nobody noticed, so my confidence was taking a beating. Full smile rose to Jessica's face. The results of her own studies were finally noticed. Now, if only Canon would notice.
Oh my god. Poor girl.
Lady da. I just thought the way she said it was very funny. Ava smiled back just as widely. Then she
bet
turned
her
that
eyebrows just like look the same as everybody else, so you can't really tell.
Yeah. Then she turned that eye towards Natsuhi. Come on, Natsuhi-san. You must take small notice of small changes in your own child. Poor Jessica-chan. He must have wanted her mother to notice first, surely. Ava, you and Natsuhi gotta fuck, like, real bad. Hey, Nutliger, what's up? How we doing? Like, you guys have to, you guys have to get that fucking shit sorted out between the 2 of you.
Oh, Liger. Isn't your birthday coming up soon? Happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Liger's birthday stream.
Really? What you guys streaming?
We're gonna be doing all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna be bringing some Jackbox. We're gonna be doing some of that. We might be doing a little bit of Gartic or whatnot.
Oh, that's very exciting. Very fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Forgot to invite Eddie. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Unfortunately, Eddie is kind of out of commission for a little bit. She's on her phone right now because she moved recently and her Wi-Fi is not gonna be on until like Thursday.
You forgot me? It's okay.
I kind of, Liger, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of assumed the invite was also for Eddie. He just, like, announced in, like, our D&D chat, like, hey, like, everyone here is invited as well. I just took that into being that you were invited as well.
So why didn't you say anything?
Because you had the internet issues.
You could have at least mentioned it.
I apologize, that was my bad.
That hates me.
I do not. It's fine, it's fine. She never notices anything like that. Christ, Jessica!
Jesus.
Not, like, listen. You gotta give your mom something. Your mom is getting put over the coals here.
Nope, Jessica wants this.
Jessica, do not think much of your calling your mother she. Everyone knows that everyone knows that Natsuhi is they them. Please. No, Eddie, I love you, dude. I would love to have you there. Exactly. Apologize. Later, I will speak to you at length about your language. Got enough of the annoying little kid. Just say so next time. I'm getting out of here. This room is getting stuffy. She's a Boku gal. She sure is. This was still at that unpredictable age with the exams right around the corner. Recently, she had clashed often with her mother, who was enthusiastic about her education. Excuse me. Jessica making to leave the parlor in a bad mood, and Shannon pushing a serving cart loaded with tea bumped into each other. Shannon, don't bother with my tea. I'm just going to wander around the garden. Milady. Shannon, the tea is getting cold. Nazi, you gotta stop taking out all your unrelated anger on this poor girl. You gotta stop doing this. It's not her fault that she only walks in when you're mad. Serve it quickly. My apologies. Shannon hadn't actually done anything wrong, but Natsu felt like some shame to herself had been shown. Last night I hurt her emotionally. This was something that happened often with the Shiromi family. This is like, hey, were your Natsuhi stocks too high after that fucking cool ass shit that she did in the first game or the first chapter or whatever?
Sorry, what?
It's like, hey, you know that, like, hey, were your Natsuhi stocks too high after all that cool shit she did in chapter 1? Please remember that she kind of sucks. None of these people look like seagulls. I mean, you're right. That's a very astute observation, Liger. Thank you for pointing that out.
None of them are crying either, actually.
Well, I don't know. Shannon looks like she's halfway there.
She definitely is.
But it seems like Shannon wasn't strong-willed enough to accept it that way. She shrunk back and nervously prepared the black tea. She had the unfortunate habit of making more mistakes when she felt intimidated. Pitiful appearance dispersed the peaceful atmosphere that had been there until just a moment ago. I mean, you have this poor girl walk in, get bumped into by a daughter, have her get yelled at for something that she didn't do when she hadn't done anything wrong, and you're just watching Natsuhi kick this poor kitten.
No, Natsuhi sucks.
Mm-hmm. It really wasn't Shannon's fault, but she thought she might be the source and felt a pressure on her chest. Is this game related to Higurashi? That game is also about loud summer animals crying. Yes, this is actually a I guess the best way to put it, I guess, would be like an anthology.
Yep.
But it's written by the same person, Ryuki Shio7.
Yeah, they just have very similar titles.
Yeah, if you're interested, definitely go check it out. Go check out the VODs on that. Those some of that shit go crazy. Is it as fucked up? Oh yeah, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very certain that we are going to be seeing some incredibly fucked up stuff. There was some very fucked up stuff in the first chapter.
Yeah. Umineko is peak. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Her shaking fingers made the porcelain clatter, and you couldn't have called it graceful, not even as an empty compliment. The more pitiful everyone thought that was, the greater the silence grew. The more irritated Natsuhi looked, the more shouting cowered. This is really just a vicious spiral all the way to the bottom. Shannon's thin neck felt like it was being choked and suffocated by the death god called tension. Jesus Christ. Then George spoke cheerfully, as if to blow away the stiff atmosphere. That's a nice smell. What kind of tea is that? She's like, I don't know.
And I was going to say, he's about to make this so much worse.
And then Nazi runs to get the rifle. This is... No, don't say it. George realized what's happening. She's like, okay, backpedal. I'll guess. It's a very distinctive smell, so I probably know it. Is it Earl Grey? I think it probably is. Shannon, please.
Shannon, god damn it. You don't even know the type of tea you're serving?
Shannon, I get that you didn't actually have this. You just, were prepared. You're the one who was given a cart and told to prepare it, but,
This ass! Damn!
This is so... every time Shannon has to serve tea, I always feel so bad for her. But, she's so, bad at it sometimes that I'm just like, girl, come on, please. You've been doing this for how many years?
This is, the second time they've done this now.
This is... Yeah, it's, the exact same bit. It's the exact same. That's real great today. I forgot that shit was caffeinated. Yeah, that shit has a little bit more of a kick than nothing at all, which is a lot of other teas.
Doesn't tea not really have that much caffeine, though?
It depends. Tea, black tea definitely has the most. It's, but, green tea barely has any. A lot herbal teas have actually nothing. White teas tend to be, a little less even than green tea. But it tends to be pretty mild. Black tea is still, enough that you can still feel it, especially if you're not super used to caffeine. But yeah. Anyways, the theme of happy triumph is playing while George is frantically trying to cover for Shannon. White tea has younger leaves or something. Exactly. Yeah, I think it probably is. It probably is Earl Grey. When you get back to the kitchen, check the can. Ooh. George, are you knowledgeable about black tea? To be fair, like, if you have a black tea that, like, smells like a particular, like, you're like, wow, that smells, like, distinctive, it's 99% of the time going to be Earl Grey. This is not a master stroke of deductive reasoning here.
I didn't know that.
Oh, well, don't worry, you don't do tea. This is why Shannon is on the tea cart, and you are not.
Wait, chamomile isn't herbal?
It was an extra pot sent back by a customer that said they wanted any herbal tea, and they sent back and asked for chamomile, which isn't herbal. Chamomile tea, I think, actually, is that?
I thought chamomile is herbal, because I had some, like, on Friday. Unless the tea packet was lying to me.
Yeah, it's like a daisy-like plant. It is herbal.
Chamomile is floral? I mean, can't it be both? I don't understand. I don't know tea that much. I definitely saw that it said herbal tea on the packet when I had some shitty chamomile tea on Friday.
Liger is technically correct in that it is floral and that is technically different than herbal tea, but the line is so fine that, like, anyone who's making a distinction like that is probably an asshole. I mean, not that you're an asshole, Liger. I'm sorry. But, like, yeah,
I didn't even know what to say after you said that. I was like, did you just call Liger an asshole?
I thought it was for some reason in my brain, like, the situation got reversed a little bit. They sent it back to
Liger banned this man.
I just get banned. Like, all of a sudden the video cuts out and, like, the Umineko starts slowly ticking by with no commentary. Flowers and herbs are all just not tea. Exactly. The point is they sent back a tea after they said any herbal tea. Yeah, exactly. That's fair. But then, like, yeah, it's like to send it back and then ask for something specific after saying, like, anything, that's an asshole move.
Mm-hmm. That's stupid.
But yeah, like I said, the difference between herbal and floral teas are pretty, like, they're so minor as to be insignificant.
I need a book.
Well, here, I got a book right here. George, are you knowledgeable about? Yeah, it's one with pictures. It's a picture book, Eddie.
I'm gonna look this up.
I'm currently in the service of a company president who knows a lot about black tea. After enough time listening to his expositions, I picked up a little bit of it. Oh, the chat display is getting cut off on your stream view, by the way. Oh, no.
Okay. Wait, what?
Technically, the Ys and stuff like that can, like, get, like, cut off a little bit. I don't exactly... I need to, like, sit down and fix that.
Make the chat smaller, not the game.
Not quite that simple, but...
Yes, it is.
See, look.
Oh, must be the widget you're using.
Must be.
Hold down Alt and then make the right side bigger.
Maybe, let me try. Nope.
Really? You can't drag the middle point on the right side?
No, I think it's genuinely, like, the widget that I'm using is, like, fucked.
Lame.
Yeah. Anyways. It is what it is. I'm not super worried about it. It has not resulted in a situation where someone can be taken, like, significantly out of context or, like, have there be a point of confusion about what is being said. So, as long as that's the case, I am fine with it. I'm not super worried. Oh yes, the president of Okanogi Foods. That sort of in-depth knowledge is his specialty. The names of tea often refer to the place where it's made, right? This is something cultivated from a place called Earl Grey. Ava, you dipshit! That's completely incorrect.
What'd she say? Wait, sorry, I'm trying to look up stuff about tea.
The names of tea often refer to the place where it's being made, right? So this is something cultivated from a place called Earl Grey.
Ava, what?
Ava, what are you talking? What the fuck are you talking about? Umineko means sea cat, which is reminding me of the fact that I found Garfield in One Piece.
What?
Hey, what? What?
What?
These are like okay. That second half of that statement has gone so many places. I genuinely don't know how to parse it.
Yeah, the full title for Umineko is "When the Seagulls Cry." So
yeah,
when the sea cat cries.
Yeah, Umineko is like the literal translation of sea cat, of course, but like it's that's what the Japanese call seagulls. Anyways, made from a place called Earl Grey. Ava, what the fuck are you talking about? There's a samurai cat man in One Piece who loves lasagna. Oh, I see. I have heard long ago in England there was an earl called Grey, and it was named after him. Incidentally, this distinctive smell doesn't come from the tea leaves, but from a fruit called a bergamot, which is a relative of the mandarin orange. I did know that. Bergamot adds a specific herb, like floral or like scent quality to the tea. It doesn't adjust the flavor all that much, but it like what bergamot does is it like you smell the smell profile is different on the teas, which adjusts its flavor profile. Because taste is just as much smell as it is the actual taste buds.
Oh, thank you, George.
Yeah. Is that so? I never known that. That's actually that's one of the reasons why like the tea that I recommended for you a while back, Eddie. That like or like sent you a couple. I can't remember if I bought you like a box of it or if like I recommended it.
You sent one.
Yeah, but it's like a bergamot tea. It's not quite Earl Grey. Earl Grey is like there's still like some technical differences. Like there's some differences between that and the whatever. But it was a bergamot black tea.
I actually still have some.
Yeah, it's good. Like that's what I used to make milk tea.
I don't really like the floral scent in my milk tea.
Having that knowledge, the tea will taste even more delicious. Will it? Alcohol and cigarettes are the same Hideyoshi, come on! Wow. You know, it's crazy how much knowing about tea will make it taste better. Yeah, booze and cigs are the same! I like milk tea, but I hate boba. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Liger. That's a harsh world you're living in. With luxuries, you gotta appreciate the romance. Knowledge like this deepens the taste. It's the same with the advertising on medicine. Natsune-san, you should try reading the explanation of your favorite headache medicine someday. Ava, this is a stretch, even for you. Christ! Don't join me! God, he really hates her. He really hates his wife.
Yeah, he sucks.
A fine idea. Try it tonight. Yes, I shall. I feel like with this, if this is the kind of house that Natsuki's living in, I kind of don't blame her. And like part of me is like thinking she looks at that rifle and just like, not today. Shen, open that pot and have a look. You should be able to find some dried bergamot mixed in with the tea leaves. This is so much more than she should have to deal with. Yeah, it is in there. Something like dried orange peel is mixed in. Yep, that's probably bergamot. The main ingredient, no gray scent. The scent is vivid, so it gives the impression of having a sharp taste, but it's a docile taste that's easy to drink.
Wow.
It might be lovely to make it with milk. The scent should be more mild. You see, what did I say? What did I say about the milk tea?
I had milk tea today.
Yeah. If there's anything left in the pot, if you poured some for everyone, you really should make milk tea out of it and try it out. Yes. Thank you very much. George gave her a small wink. Shannon finally realized that George had been doing her a favor by calming down the atmosphere in the room. You're only just now realizing this, Shannon?
Listen, Shannon's taking life at her own pace.
That pace is 5 miles per hour on a highway. Natsu learned to use that gun for reasons before the events of Chapter 1. She'd been doing it for her sake as she lost her self-confidence. The Shiromiya family did not pamper their servants. Really, I never would have fucking noticed with them having to call themselves furniture and all.
Yeah.
I thought that they were like really nice. They're like, wow, you know, you're really one of us, sofa. Please show me so if there were any awkwardness, they would be harshly punished. But it didn't often happen they were given a helping hand like this. Thanks to George's concern, Shannon was somehow able to get a hold of herself and finish serving everything safely. She was calm when she worked. She could easily carry out her task elegantly and flawlessly. Excuse me.
I'm trying to search what's the difference between herbal and a floral tea, but instead I got what's the difference between a McDouble and a double cheeseburger.
What? Google, what the... Google, what the fuck? I genuinely don't understand how you get there, other than like, yeah, fuck, we just redirected you because we have an advertising quota to meet.
I don't know.
AI? Was it AI?
No, it's like one of the first suggestions, so like autocomplete. So in a way, I guess AI, but
okay, autocomplete. That makes a little bit more sense. I thought you had typed it in, hit enter, and like, yeah, talk about cheeseburgers. They're like, you're American. There's no way you would actually care about tea.
So it says that chamomile is floral and also herbal.
Yeah, because floral is like I guess you could call it like a subset of herbal, right? Like, because there are some herbal teas that aren't floral, but that all floral teas are herbal. It's really fucking stupid. By the time black tea was laid out on the table, the elegant set drifted around. The room was completely back to how it had been, in a peaceful mood, as everyone praised George's knowledge. Wow, George, you're so cool and tall, and your hair is, like, so full, and you're so young and competent, and your dick is probably so big.
Okay.
Shannon wanted to thank him for saving her, but it didn't look like she would get the chance. So at least she thanked him inside of her heart, praying to God that George would hear it, and then pressed the servant card away. Generally, if you use bloods for steeping, it's primarily floral. Yeah, exactly.
I like chamomile tea.
George Nissan has always let a helping hand in times like that. A change of the top. Why are we so focused on this motherfucker?
Which one?
Beatrice! I don't care about how cool George is!
Sorry, babe.
Ah! Why change the topic or something? Shannon and Jessica had been seen in the rose garden. Jessica, having gotten into a fight with her mother, now felt unable to simply nonchalantly wander back to the parlor, so she found herself here, killing time. When I think back on it, I felt that maybe this wasn't the first time he has helped me like that. Whenever I made a careless mistake and George Sama was there, he would always naturally smooth things over and make things harmonious, I think. Maybe it wasn't something as direct as picking up a fork that could drop, but it was his way of caring. Even servants have pride. They want to fix their own mistakes by themselves, because if a guest helped them out with that, they would lose face. He's really good at reading between the lines in those kind of situations.
Some herbal teas are floral teas, not all floral teas are herbal teas. Some teas, like chamomile, are single ingredient floral herbal teas. I'm sorry, I'll drop it.
Eddie, you might want to just back out of this one. I don't think there's any purpose to going deeper into this topic.
I'm like...
No. I think it's fine if you're learning. I just think that, like, these distinctions feel so arbitrary.
Fine.
Hey, we stop calling not tea. Dagger, I see, is very purist about his teas, about their teas.
Huh?
That's my opinion. You see, Dagger's the type of tea purist who's like, if it's a steeped beverage, but it doesn't actually have anything that like is called tea in it, like a black tea or like a green tea or a white tea, then it's not tea. Soaking flowers and shit and herbs and shit is not real strength.
What? Okay. I'm over it.
He's really good at reading between the lines in these kind of situations. Well, maybe that's a George Nissan's aesthetic take on things. God, that guy's more of a show-off than he looks.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
On your OBS, can you, like, click something else than the chat?
Oh, whoops. There.
Thanks.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was showing up on your end like that. Anyways. Now you won't have a red line going all the way through, like, Shannon and Jessica's chest. That's not true. I think he really is a wonderful person. Shannon, you haven't fallen in love with George Nissan, have you? This is if this is like a normal situation with like normal human beings, this is a crazy line to bust out. This is crazy to say after that. Shannon had refuted Jessica's words uncharacteristically forcefully, so Jessica caught on immediately. No, that's not it, I think. Come to think of it, I've never heard of that kind of gossip about George Nissan. Maybe he's gay.
Yo!
Maybe, actually, I didn't hear him say that family-oriented girls were his type. Didn't I hear him say that family-oriented girls were his type? Nice! That fixed you perfectly, Shannon. Shannon, you're demure and, like, timid and shit. You probably be a great mom.
Wow. So demure. So mindful.
Why is that popular? What has caused that to pop up? I've seen that like 3 times today.
Oh, it's just a woman on TikTok who like literally all of her TikToks, she's like, I do this, and that. You see how I do this and how I do that? Very demure, very mindful, very considerate of me. Little, you know, and it's like some simple shit. Like, you see that, like, I put the cart back in the parking lot where it needs to be. See, it's very demure. It's just like a joke. It's stupid.
Okay. Demure is like with humility. It's like you're like, oh no, not me. I'm fine. I'm okay. Hot flower leaf froth. God, we're still back on this.
Thank God.
I saw that like 3 or 4 times today. I'm like, what? Who the fuck caused this to happen? The fuck is going on here?
I felt very happy because my friends told me about it before it super caught on. So I finally didn't feel left in the dark for once.
You're like, oh, I'm here at ground zero. Neat. You know what? I'm just glad that Haktua is finally dead.
I never even learned what the fuck that was, and I don't care to ask. Moving on.
Yeah. It does. I'm not qualified for that. You sure are qualified. You go fuck my brother, Shannon.
My cousin,
Shannon. You've known each other for years. You're almost childhood friends. Don't know if I would call it that. This is like maybe gap. 7-year gap. Visits like once a year. She's 18, man. She's 16, man. She's not even 16 here. She's probably like 15 or 14. He's 21 or 22. It's worse. Anyways, they say that when you have a natural relationship where you don't think of each other as boy and girl, it's plain sailing once you do. Who the fuck is telling you this, Jessica? No doubt. Jessica loved Team... I love how they immediately, the game heard me. Jessica loved teen magazines with these kind of stories, and she was always on the phone talking excitedly with her friends about that kind of thing.
Aww.
I see. She is just a girly girl. She had a keen intuition for this kind of romantic topic. This wasn't the first time a topic like this had been brought to Shannon. But it was certainly the first time she had noticed George as a member of the opposite sex. He was furniture, and George was an honored guest connected to the Yashiromia family. Yeah, she may be furniture, but you can call George J.D. Vance.
No!
You thought it impermissible to even imagine a deep relationship. That's gonna be really funny if someone comes back to watch this VOD even a year or 2 later, and they're like, what the fuck did he mean by that? What the fuck? JD who? Fucking what?
He does what to furniture?
She hadn't thought it impermissible to even imagine a deep relationship, so she hadn't thought about it. Jessica was taking immense pleasure in poking fun at all this, since it didn't affect her. You know, maybe I do relate to Jessica a little bit. Like, you can't type things that are funny, and I'll read them when I'm taking a sip. Shoujo manga readers with an inappropriate age cap shows up. Your cats are trying to steal your chips. Have you considered giving them the chips? What if they're hungry? If you're hungry, they're hungry. Let them eat. Jaina was doing her best to make sure that her blushing cheeks were discovered. She was doing a very bad job at it. So if George showed up at a time like that, there would be no way she'd be able to keep it cool. Next frame. They saw George come out of the entrance hall of the mansion. This isn't quite what I was expecting. Like, I was expecting there to be a sprite, but this also works. It looked like he had seen them as well. He headed over, waving his hand. Shannon had to frantically try to regain her ordinary composure before George reached them. Grandfather finally came down. Holy shit! Now they're having an adult discussion, so they chased me out. Escaping then was the right choice. I'd sooner kiss a god of pestilence than go look grandfather in the face. Is that like a... Jessica, is that a saying? Is that like an expression? Because that's a weird thing to just say off the top of your dome about your fucking grandpa.
I guess.
You shouldn't speak that way. However, I think grandfather may think of us as such pestilent creatures. George, don't undermine yourself like that, King. After all, we came over here specifically to ask money for business. We came here to beg. That's right. This wasn't the customary annual October family conference. Eva's family had visited to apply for a business loan for the main family. Kinzo had vast resources, and he lent those out to his children. Of course, it was not money to lend because they had gotten themselves into financial trouble. How would they expand their business using the vast sum of money that they had borrowed? How much interest would be attached, and how soon could it be repaid? This wasn't a loan for the have-nots. It was a loan for those who were on the offense. Kinzo judged strictly whether it was worth lending out his fortune, and afterwards he strictly oversaw its use. How old is George? He looks like an English teacher who sees hope in his delinquent students. So, here's the thing. George is, like, in the events of, like the quote-unquote present day. This is, like, a little bit of a flashback, I believe. Mm-hmm. In the present day, he is 23, and his girlfriend that he proposes to is a servant of the Ushiromiya family who is 16.
In present day.
In the present day.
Yippee!
So that is what it is. So maybe that student-teacher thing, maybe not the best look for George, honestly. Hello, how are you doing? How's Umineko going? We're good. We're getting into chapter 2, and I don't want to say I'm distraught, but like I am a little annoyed at the amount of George and the lack of Beatrice.
Hey, Video Tree.
George is green, though. Yeah. So there were occasions of the spectacle where the relatives visited Rokenshima and explained their business to Kinzo. To the parents, it may as well have been a meeting concerning the movement of the large sums of money, forcing immense stress upon them. But to Jessica, who lived on the isolated island called Rokenshima, was a precious opportunity to meet up with her cousins. So even for her bad mood from getting into that fight with her mother, was immediately cured by this chat with the infrequent visitor George. My family's a total bunch of tightwads. No, there should be more Beatrice. You're right. You're right, and you should say it. They've probably got money to spare. Why not be generous with it? I bet my dad and grandfather both just being really tight. This family is bankrupt in like 2 generations max once Jessica takes over. Who's Beatrice? Oh, excuse me. Beatrice! Beatrice is an immortal golden witch who lives on the island and gave Kinzo all of his gold.
Yeah, we finally met her.
Yeah, she's great. I forgive women's wrongs. She also does a bunch of murder. Like a bunch of murder.
Just imagine, like, if Jessica was wearing a much longer dress.
Wait, give me 1 second. Characters. Oh, I can't go to which side on this. Damn it.
Is it worth it? Okay.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I understand.
I googled. No,
no!
Don't Google anything to have to do with Umineko.
Oh my god!
Liger.
I swear to God, I'm going
Liger.
to ban you guys if you Google stuff and then say it in the chat. I am not having this.
Oh, okay. Anyways, this is Beatrice.
When it comes to Umineko, you cannot Google things. Do not say you're Googling things. Do not mention things you have Googled in this chat.
Please and thank you. I literally just went to images. We're very paranoid for good reason. Many things happen in Umineko. Beatrice,
spoilers are everywhere.
The Golden Witch, who has lived for 1,000 years. She has already surpassed the limits of humans, and it is said that she will appear in response to a human summons, just as demons do, to lend them her power for a price. Likes black tea and ice cream, hates boredom and those who deny her existence. And then if you try to kill her, she's like, bitch! It's futile for a human like yourself to dream of killing me. Even if you fire bullets at me, they will merely bounce back as though by a meteor and strike you down. However, there's a single way to kill me. You grasp this method in the palm of your hand. I bet a mediocre fool like you could ever do it, of course. Hee 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 hee. Cackle, cackle, cackle. Mirror, huh? I'm thinking about like that Shannon shit she did with the mirror broken in half, and how she's like specifically used like a mirror or whatever. Anyways, I hope she shows up soon as this chapter hit. Me too. Slay Queen? Yes.
Slay Queen. Like, literally, she be slain.
I support women's wrongs. I support Beatrice. My family's a total bunch of tightwads. They probably got money to spare. Why not be generous with it? I bet my dad and grandpa are both just being really tight. Attachment will be prudent when lending money. Of course, my father has come by the plan by which he can expand his business with what he borrows, and then which he can definitely repay. Everything else will be up to the presentation. Really, I would have liked to watch alongside and learn. But Mother chased me out. I'm a little let down. It was like, please, George, you want to be able to love your family for a little bit longer. It seems the master still scolds Kraus-sama and Eva-sama in just the same way as he did when they were kids. I'm sure she didn't want to show that to you, her son. But Shannon hung her head. She thought back on the scene she'd grown up used to seeing while working the mansion. Even Kraus, who acted haughtily towards Assembly, was still treated like a child by Kinzo. Shannon herself had often seen Kinzo slapping Kraus and making him sit Seiza style. It's probably why deeply humiliating for him to have that forced upon him at his age. In the Ushiromiya family, taking care not to be present when this happens was one of the great tasks of the servants. Of course, that did mean that Shannon had been making mistakes by being witness to it. Probably. Realizing that and going away may be my duty as her child. Well, all that aside, the flowers in the garden are truly splendid this year, aren't they? George stretched as he said this. How far back is this? Like, how many years ago is this? Or is it like this was like the same year? Or is that something I'm going to find out?
Oh, I'm sorry. You asked me a question. I was replying to my cousin.
Yeah, sorry. I was just asking, like, do we know how many years ago this was? Or like, because like, if this is like the start of their relationship, if they're going to proposing, it feels like it's got to be at least 1 or 2 more years, right?
I would assume like 2 years.
14 years old. Is this Japan? Yes. Kinzo is like the patriarch of the Ushiromiya family. And he's a giant Westaboo. Who's like really into the occult and black magic and shit. So he bought an island, built a huge Western style mansion there, and named all of his Japanese children with Western first names. And then made them name all their children Western names as well. Everyone hates it. George stretched as he said that. And truly effortlessly, he changed the subject away from something that had become a little gloomy. This time Shannon had noticed it too. And made one call his son Battler. Yeah. He's like, Battler, you can name your child that. This person, George, was highly sensitive to the mood of the group and was always caring enough to change the subject to something harmonious. They'd been so smooth that Shannon hadn't noticed it until today. Hey, Shannon had to really admire that behavior of George. You know, I think it's kind of normal. Like, I don't think it's like a bad thing. Like on like I think it's like a pretty normal thing on like Shannon's part to like develop this sort of crush on a 21-year-old at 14.
I don't blame her, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a perfectly normal thing, and I think in the context of this is normal. George acting on that shit?
Not normal.
Death. 14, bro! Almost all the boys Shannon knew of her own age were her classmates during her education. They were all mature, and none of them had the same composure that George did. Even though he had just been another guest until moments ago, now she couldn't describe him with just that. That was all idle thinking, irrelevant to her work as a servant. Shannon tried to chase it away with a small shake of her head. What's up? No, it's nothing. Shall I prepare some tea? I will prepare some more of that Earl Grey for you.
More
do you
tea.
Battler is red. It's weird, and like even like the character acknowledges like, yeah, this is kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Have a steady job at 14. That's the dream. Oh, she's part of the the long series of orphans like child laborers that Kinzo has imported.
Mm-hmm.
Kinzo runs an orphanage and just so happens to like, yeah, almost all of my servants come from that orphanage.
Yeah.
Do
Definitely
they get dental
not
though?
sounding.
Do they get dental though? If only because like having bad teeth would reflect poorly on the Ushiromiya family, probably.
I would assume, like, okay, this family does suck, and the whole orphanage like servant thing is so sketchy. But yeah. I would assume there's got to be like some really good benefits behind it.
Yeah, they do say that it's like a pretty good opportunity. It like really allows you to get your feet under yourself, and it allows you to build up savings really easily. Because
yeah, and Shannon has like saved up like a lot of money, right?
Yeah, like they say that the pay is like really, really good. That doesn't excuse all this bullshit about about furniture or whatever. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Literally.
But yeah, so like there are advantages to doing this. So yeah, they probably get dental. So you remember the name of that black tea? I'm happy. I really love how much of a Japanese game this is, because I feel like in any other context, like Earl Grey is like the one thing people think of. Like if you know anything about tea, you know the name Earl Grey is like a tea.
Yeah.
I don't have the context of furniture, and I do not wish to have any. The servants are referred to refer to themselves as furniture.
Yeah.
I think that, as far as I know, that's all that's going on with that. But, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for your concern back then. Shannon was finally able to put her things into words. If you wrote them out on paper, it wouldn't seem like much. But Shannon just needed a little courage to say them out loud. You've gone against my wishes and given me context. How dare. Konzek? How dare.
How dare?
Easily. It was very easy to do so, actually. Shut the fuck up. Just notice we're all purple. Yeah, it's a purple squad today.
Yippee. Usually it's green.
Mm-hmm. We're switching it up today, fellas.
Yippee.
But George played dumb. Wow, what's this? I don't remember doing anything that I should be thanked for. This is the sort of George being like a fuck ass. Like, what if I teased this girl? What if I teased this 14-year-old? What if I decided?
It's weird.
Like it's like he decides like actually tormenting her is kind of fun. What do you mean? Boo, boo liger, boo broke the pact, boo traitor, boo put him in the volcano.
Into the volcano you shall go.
Into the volcano. I don't remember doing anything I should be thanked for. Seems he was being a gentleman in his own way, saying that he hadn't helped her because he wanted to be thanked. Seems that George's response had been more or less predictable to Jessica. She burst out laughing uncontrollably. What did I do? Oh, you see, you're red now because you're burning in the lava. See? This is it. Isn't he a show-off? He is a show-off. I don't think that's... Jessica made fun of Shannon. She remained silent, red-faced. First didn't know the details, but he naturally joined in and laughed in the same way. Three of them lazily walked towards the garden, talking about what was new. George, as the oldest cousin, talked about his life experiences. Jessica talked about recent life on Rokinjima. Shannon talked about her recent work. These silly little topics went round and round in circles. Even when the other stories had been fascinating, Shannon never felt particularly connected to their contents. She was nothing more than a servant. She had no intention of delving into her master's lives. She simply wanted them to enjoy their time speaking with her. And was only pretending to listen intently and nodding at the right moments. She was like, she really put on her like retail service job face. But for some reason, she found talking with George deeply interesting today. Even for things she would normally ignore, she felt like she could feel a kindness hidden beneath the words. I feel like this is like 30%, like at least 30 to 40% just in her head. I feel like she is being delusional. She has got the shoujo filters on.
I love when girls are delusional.
For some reason, she wanted to know more things about George, no matter how trivial. She just started fucking staring at him real hard.
She's watching.
She thought as far as looks went, this person who she Romeo George was probably about average, and he didn't really stick out. God damn! I'm sorry, George. You're not beating the mid allegations. But he was diligent, serious, and deeply thoughtful in a way that allowed him to understand people's hearts and care for them. There's gonna be like a scene where she like sees Badler from her perspective for like the first time or whatever, and she's like, he was the hottest man she had ever seen. But she had never been aware of those feelings until now. She might not have met him many times, but she known his face for many years. Even so, she had not noticed him once until now. So Shannon felt ashamed of this, and her cheeks went red. Maybe George thought that Shannon was appreciating him talking about himself because he continued to relate to his personal stories. Clueless. But Jessica didn't miss that slight change in Shannon. So she turned the discussion around to the topic Shannon wanted to hear about most. I love how Jessica is just mentally filing all this away for like teasing purposes. Oh yeah, come to think of it. George Nissan, did you finally get a girlfriend yet or what? What is this? Out of the blue. Normally George's reaction would have been after enough. But for some reason, as she was now, Shannon found herself unable to understand it unless he said it clearly. Sorry, I'm not hot enough to groom high schoolers.
Oh my god.
POV, your problematic boss is explaining in detail my chamomile is both floral and turtle. Yeah? Your son is very nice, so I'm sure he must be very popular with girls.
Yo, the way that she says that makes it sound like she pities him.
It really does. That sounds like really pathetic. Quidditch, Shannon. That's pretty mean, cornering him like that.
Thank you for that, Dead. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wasn't trying to be mean. Thank you for your happy, incorrect impression.
I've got zero bitches at home.
I have no riz. I've got no swag. I've got no bitches. No hoes.
No drip. No nothing.
I'm here. I got my glasses. That's about it.
In my middle part.
George would have cleaned up in 2021. It's a shame, but I still don't have a relationship with any special girl. All the high schools keep kicking me out. As you can see, my looks are below average. And I can't speak wittily in a way that would entertain a high school girl. I don't think that's true. I assume they have the same sprite in the future because Shannon's sprite is honestly a toss-up between 18 years and 29 by anime standards. Yeah, it's to the point where like I was kind of confused about how old she was because it said that they were like she was like around like the other's age, and it turned out like she was actually slightly younger. Like Battler and like Jessica are like 17 and 18 or whatever, and Jessica is like 16.
Yeah,
because he wears glasses. No, Dagger. I'm saying it because it's like he's got that e-boy middle part round glasses thing. Like, he just needs to put on, like, an outfit that looks like he got it out of a fucking, like he thrifted every single piece, but, like, didn't try. Like, he just, like, grabbed random items out of it, and the women would be, like, losing their minds for George.
Did you not like his casual outfit where he's wearing the dog tags?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, but, like, you know, that's very 80s, sort of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And anime cliches. I mean, you know, baby. And I think that a man's charm is decided by things you can't measure on the outside. Shannon is regrettably doing the I'm sorry, I'm different. I like people for their personalities.
Wow.
It's like, wow, you're so cool.
Not me, I'm vain.
I was about to say, like, listen, I think that, like, obviously personality is, like, a huge part of, like, what attracts you to another person, right? Mm-hmm. Like, no one's denying that. Everyone knows that's the case. If you pretend that's the only thing, you're so full of shit. Mm-hmm. You are so full of shit. Like, listen, dog. If you're given this person with the exact same personality and one is more attractive than the other, you're gonna go for the more attractive person because that's obviously a factor. That's not vain. That's like, or that's not shallow. That's just being a person. Anyways, that's why I think that you might be a very charming man, George-sama. I don't know. This does feel like a very, like, this reads as like 14 years old. Like, the sentiment that she's expressing right here does feel like, yeah, 14-year-old. Shannon was uncharacteristically verbose. Compared to her normal self, she was being very wordy indeed. George looked fairly pleased about hearing his own charm described, but he was just a little surprised at the high praise. Jessica, sure now that her own imagination was right on, acted as though she could barely hold back her laughter. Thank you, Shannon-chan. I'm telling you, she has a stack of shoujo manga under her bed. I would not doubt it, actually. I hope I can soon run into a girl gracious enough to find me attractive. Jesus Christ, dude! Oh, that's so pathetic what he just said. Oh, that's sad.
So modest.
Gracious enough to find me attractive. Yes, I'm sure you will. Ah, Bukevo. Death.
Die. Was she the first woman to compliment him? Oh my god, if that's the case, everything makes sense now.
Everything. She was the first woman to compliment him that's not his mom.
And then he immediately fell in love.
I'm sure that there's a girl not... I mean, a lot of girls that would recognize your real charm. She probably wanted to say there's a girl not very far away. She avoided saying that much, considering the only other girl even close to his age on the island was his cousin. She avoided that saying that much. Strong final line is the servant. Really? I guess I'm kind of embarrassed. Maybe he had never been praised this much by a girl. Rich's face turned just as bright red as Shannon's. As she watched the two of them, Jessica giggled sadistically. Jessica, please say... I really hate that no one is... I get that no one brings it up, because, like, apparently none of them care. I really wish at least somebody would bring her up. Like, hey, that's a 7 years? Really? How many people live on this island? Do they leave the island? It's literally just the one family. Specifically, okay, so let me go to the characters real quick. Okay, so these 4 people live on the island. This is the Ushiromiya families that live on the island. It's Kinzo, who's the patriarch of the family, his oldest son, Kraus, Kraus's wife, Natsuhi, and their daughter, Jessica. all these members of the Yushiromiya family do not live on the island. Nanjo is the doctor. I think he lives on Nijima, and he comes over just every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So he doesn't actually live on the island.
Sorry, I didn't know if you were waiting for my approval.
Yeah, no, I was checking with you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're correct.
Genji lives on the island as a servant. Shannon lives on the island as a servant. Weird that she has that tattoo. I do notice that now that I'm seeing this full model. And weird that they have the cutout like that.
Mm-hmm. Anyways. So I actually do have a fun fact about that.
What?
So the cutout, I mentioned this like all the way at the very start of when we started Umineko, but basically the like interesting but like cool designs of the Umineko characters are complete ripoffs and traces from like Japanese fashion magazines that Ryukishi 07 obviously just stole from. Like literally like 1-to-1 for like a lot of the characters. And someone found this out and posted it all on Tumblr, and they started theorizing that Ryukishi 07 may have seen some of these images that were too blurry and couldn't figure out how like the skirt of like this dress was supposed to be. So he interpreted it as a belt with a slit in the middle. But it actually wasn't that. It was like something else.
Incredible. That's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, very interesting that she has the one-winged eagle there. Mm-hmm. Kanon's wearing it. And so is Genji. That's whatever. He doesn't wear it. She doesn't wear it, tellingly, either. She has it tattooed, though. The only other person you ever see it with a tattoo is Ava.
Mm-hmm.
George, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm like at least 30 to 40% sure that your relationship is incestuous as well. Is Shannon a pseudonym? Yeah, they take on like Western names when they work at the mansion. Her real name, her quote-unquote real name is Sayo.
I don't know if I should explain.
It's so crazy to me, like, I kind of want to, like, I think that, like, Kanon and Shannon look more similar to each other than, like, literally any other relative in this fucking family.
What about Jessica and Natsuhi?
Okay, wait, yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, you know what? You're right. They do look similar. But, like, with that exception, Shannon and Kanon look more, like, sibling-like, and, like, more, like, like, their eyes are their eye colors are the same, their hair is parted in the exact same way. Their uniforms are basically the same uniform, but with pants instead.
I mean, they are servants, but...
I mean, yeah, fair. But, like, you don't see, like, fucking Genji or, like, Toshi or, like, Goda running around like that. Hell, even Chiyo is wearing, like, traditional Japanese, like, clothing.
I think it's because they're older.
Cousins can kiss in Japan. Well, I mean, yeah, fair, but, like, it's still not, like... Listen, I'm gonna take this one judgment from my Western my Western-centric morality. What time period is this? This is the 80s. Yeah, I guess there is, like, a little, like, there are, like, actual differences between it. But, like, their stuff is so similar. Like, there's so much of the same design elements going on here. Like, they're clearly wearing, like, different clothes. Like, it's not like it's just, like, it's not like you take off, like, Shannon's boobs and it's, like, Kanon's outfit or whatever. But, like, they're the only two servants who are like that. Everyone else is different.
Whoa,
hey, what's up, Freckly? How we all doing tonight?
Thank you for the raid.
Raid message goes here. Congratulations. Good raid message.
Thank you, Fred.
Wow, thank you for the sub, Lazy. How we all doing today? How was Garlic?
Did we garlic?
Yeah, how was your garlic phone? Anyways, you're getting back to
one of the worst couples ever.
Welcome to Umineko. It's a really good visual novel. We're in chapter 2. We just started it a little while ago.
Lazy, why are you white?
Weird. You can't just ask people why they're white, Eddie.
Yes, I can, and I just did.
Oh, okay. It's instead of focusing on Beatrice and the witches that we have just been introduced to in the tea parties and shit, we are now focusing on the really fucked up power dynamic relationship of a 23-year-old and a 16-year-old. We're pretty sure they're like 21 and 14 here.
Hiding undercover. Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. Anyways, Jessica giggled sadistically.
I think the white name really makes you stand out more.
Yeah, it really does. Well, I'm sure you'll eventually find a wonderful partner, George Nissan, but I don't think you'll be able to escort your partner as you are right now, right? Brainless may be a diligent worker, but it looks like you're totally clueless when it comes to that aspect of your studies. Jessica's like, get your dick wet, man. You gotta get some experience. Excuse me for being ignorant. I'll start studying that bit by bit. How would you do that by yourself? Are you gonna watch movies about love? It's like, I can't tell if this is like she's talking about rom-coms or pornography. Learn from Uncle Hideyoshi. To be fair, they have the best relationship, and Hideyoshi definitely has to know something about stuff to be able to land Ava. You're milking it for all it's worth, aren't you? Men aren't a match for girls in this kind of conversation. Normally when George and Jessica got together, their parents would say George is delicate and admirable, and Jessica is lazy and rude. So it was probably irresistible fun for Jessica when their roles were finally reversed. George also realized this time he was content with being the one who was teased. And George Nissan, as long as you're okay with it, why not practice a bit with Shannon?
It's all Jessica's fault.
This is Jessica's fault. She's the real enemy. She's the person that we should be fucking mad at. Getting bullied by a 14-year-old. Yeah. Yeah. Jessica's like 1 year older, so I think she's like 15 here. Keep Shannon entertained all day long in a date. What do you think? What do you... Milady? She heard Jessica's audacious plan. Shannon's face turned bright red, and a donut of smoke rose from it with a poof. It came out of her beret. That's a very attractive plan, but I feel bad for Shannon-chan.
You're bad for Shannon?
I would too! You... Stop! It's just like how Misty convinced Brock to be more assertive with girls. I completely forgot about that.
Wait, what?
So there's an early on bit where like Brock is actually pretty shy about approaching women, and like Misty's like, "Hey, you just got to be more assertive with women or whatever." Like,
I do know. I don't remember that. Oh my god!
And thus leads to like infinite sexual harassment.
Ew. Oh my god, Missy, what the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ.
You know what? That's not terrible advice. It's just that he took it like a psychopath. That's not her. I would argue that is not her fault. This is Jessica's fault.
Fair enough.
Anyways,
fair enough.
I feel bad for Shannon-chan. I wouldn't just be wasting her precious day off. But I'd also be butting in on the ideal moment for when she'd be able to be alone with someone she really has feelings for. I couldn't do something so boorish. And then it stopped. I also, don't have a person I have feeling for or anything, so, caring for me like that is, yes, it's unnecessary. So like, I wouldn't mind. I think I do. Ooh, please, I want to be groomed.
Oh my god.
Shannon's blood all rushed to her head, and it looked like she didn't know what she was babbling about. Jessica, who knew Shannon normally was, seemed to find that really comical. She couldn't hide her cackling laughter anymore. I can't believe she started this shit as a bit. I'm so upset. Is that true? I can't believe that cute girl like you would be single, Shannon-chan. She's 14! I'm a servant, so I don't have any opportunities to meet boys, and which means that in the future, if Shannon's gonna have any chance of getting herself a wonderful guy, she needs practice with relationships, right? No! She needs to stop being a servant and go and live on, like, in a population that is greater than 50. So you each want the same thing. Alright, that'll work. Nice. Cackle. This is your fault. Jessica irresponsibly cheered the two of them on! I like how even the game is like, she should not be doing this.
This is a mistake, haha.
Now George was also hanging his head, red-faced. I've been calling for you. Couldn't you hear me? Since Ava appeared... Ava, please save us! Save us from your boy grooming a 14-year-old! Both of them became even more flustered. Jessica was in stitches. Mother! Sorry, our conversation got complicated. I didn't know this. Oh, Ava-sama, my deepest apologies. Sounds like you young kids are getting really excited. You're all about that age. I remember what it looks like. You must have no end of things to talk about. Oh, come on, Auntie Ava, you're still in your prime. Jessica's like, damn, Auntie Ava, you're still a MILF. Get it.
True.
Please tell us how you and Uncle Hideyoshi met. Oh, the fan! There's no way I could tell you that.
Oh, so bashful.
You're also young. So what is it, Mother? You called because you wanted something, right? Please get me out of here. Ma'am, he's 7 years older than that age. Yeah, please. Like, Ava, your son's 21. He's, like, past that.
She likes to tease.
Your father and the rest have finished talking. We're going to talk about grandfather, about you, so come on. About me? What could that be? Same topic you were all just having. Remember that topic? Oh, that topic. It isn't really something we need to talk to grandfather about, is it? What are you talking about? Wait, George-san, you aren't getting married to someone. Congratulations!
Oh my god, Yupini, congratulations! Are you stupid, girl?
No. Didn't you just say I don't have a special woman? This isn't something to brag about, is it?
Damn. Get roasted, bruh.
Damn.
By your own fucking mother.
Seriously?
Oh my god, not the seriously. She didn't have to do that.
God damn!
Smile bitterly, oh my god.
My son's a virgin. He's 21 years old and maybe one of the richest heirs alive. Oh, I got it. Toshi-san, it's one of those. A marriage meeting. Marriage meeting? Well, yeah. If they had waited to have they waited a single day to have this fucking conversation, George would be married to a girl his own age.
Yeah, this sucks. We're in the worst timeline.
As a man, George undoubtedly wanted to find a partner by himself and carry her off himself. So it seemed that he found the idea of meeting his partner for the first time in a marriage meeting arranged by his parents to be a little pathetic. That's okay, George, you are a little pathetic. Shouldn't marriage meetings be done at a more mature age? Y'all appear to be thoroughly enjoying Umineko. I will be enjoying Umineko when we can stop hard focusing on, like, George's, like, weird fucking 7-year age gap servant-master dynamic relationship with a girl who's, at our estimation, right now 14 years old.
Hi, Hinimi.
Once we're done focusing on that and more focusing about hot witches committing murder, then games will be good. There's absolutely no guarantee you'd be set up with a person his age at all. I mean, yeah, I guess, maybe. I still don't feel like I've become an adult. You know, I'm just one of you kids, says the 21-year-old to the 14-year-old he's trying to fuck.
Hi.
We don't intend to rushing you into an immediate implication on marriage. Of course not. That you just don't understand high society. Good, I don't want to understand it. It isn't a problem if you deepen your friendship first, then you have her moved out of to our family, registered later when you settle down as you age. The forceful impression that Ava was giving in George's evasiveness, it seems like you could catch a glimpse of how this marriage meeting linked into everything. What the other person was remained unclear, but it's surely someone profitable to Ava's family in a business sense. It felt almost like a political strategy. They wanted to create a connection between two families, if not by changing registers, then at least by having them get engaged. Marriage isn't something you can do after you start liking someone. It's something you do after you start liking someone. It's something you get used to after you do it. Oh, okay, so that's what happened with her and Hideyoshi then. Basically, she's saying they had arranged a marriage that was like profitable for both partners, and they just happened to like really fall into it. Which, you know, it works. And if that's the case, I can see how Ava like gets into this mentality of like maybe that's what George needs, because it really did work out for her and Hideyoshi.
I genuinely I love them so much.
It's really crazy how like good they are together. Mm-hmm. That's like whoever made that match, whoever was like no, this.
I think it was probably Kinzo.
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately, I guess I have to give this to Kinzo.
Mm-hmm.
No,
you never have to give it to Kinzo, actually.
Beatrice! Me when I was going crazy towards the end of chapter 1.
Literally.
Something you used to after you do it. If you marry someone based on emotions, you'll definitely regret it. There's definitely nothing wrong with choosing a person with a secure background as your partner in life, than building up emotions of love. Eddie, tell me right now, is this the whole fucking chapter? Is the whole fucking chapter this shit?
No, she has track of the chapters. No, but I think this is like the more focused, unfortunately boring couple chapter.
Anyways, next time we stream, please look forward to Yakuza Infinite Wealth. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Auntie Ava, that's so rude to Hideyoshi. I love him, you know. I want to always be with him and to live my life by his side. Ava, come on, you can't just hit her with a raw super like that. You can't just hit her with the most sincere line you've ever spoken like that.
Mm-hmm.
She was bantering. Ava-sama, that's wonderful. Truly splendid. Thank you. But we built up those feelings while we were husband and wife, you see. I believe that in the future we will be much, much closer than we are now. I always feel a bit silly when I stop and like talk about something for like a little while, and I'm like, well, it's clearly like this sort of thing, and like this is the conclusion that you draw from this, and like I click 3 times, and then it's like, yeah, it's the exact same thing that you said.
This is why it's like when you ask a question, I don't feel like answering because the game's gonna explain it.
Yeah, fair. I believe in the future we'll be much, much closer than we are now. Yeah, we'll be together in death. I think that's the best way for a husband and wife to be. I don't think that makes it right to marry someone you don't even like. And that doesn't make it alright to marry whoever you want, just as long as you like them. Damn! Turn it around, Ava! Fucking hit him!
That's crazy. She's spitting.
A wedding only lasts a moment, but your life as a married couple after that is very, very long. So you should search with prudence and not leave it up to momentary emotion. Momentary emotions. And don't you think that your mother and the rest of us would be better at that than a person who experienced life like yourself? Ugh. That may be true, but you are my pride and joy, my only son. You have grown into a fine man who can match up to anyone. And with Bathercon leaving the register, you are the only grandson to carry father's blood. We must prudently choose a fitting partner for you. As everyone related to the Shiromiya family knew, Ava adored George so much that he was the apple of her eye. That didn't mean she had pampered him. He had raised him strictly, and he had grown into a charming man who wouldn't betray her expectations. That was how he was the apple of her eye. We definitely aren't deciding your partner based on what we personally stand to gain from it. I will introduce you to a truly wonderful woman who's right for you. Right now, you may still have some immature youth inside of you that's turning you away from this. Honestly, there are definitely worse people to like. If Ava like really knows you well and like cares about you as a person and like has your best interest in heart, there are way worse people that you could that you could like have a marriage partner decided for.
Yep.
Like she is near the top of that list.
Yeah. Why is Battler leaving the register? This is like a flashback, kind of like a scene that takes place before the actual game.
So at this point in the game, like at this point in the timeline, I guess, like Battler is like currently away. Like he's not in the family. He's living with his grandparents on his mom's side. He has left because he left the family like 6 years ago, or like 6 years prior to the start of the game. And now then he comes back at that point because his grandparents die. So I'm assuming he gets added back to the family register at some point in that, and he left the family register at some point, in like after when that 6 years happened. But at least listen to what your mother says on this point. Have I ever failed to think of what's best for you? No, you haven't. That's all you need to think of for now. Come now, let's go. We're keeping father waiting. Imagine you're Ava and you've done all this effort for your son to pick out the best match you could possibly think of for him, and then he turns around and marries the 14-year-old servant girl.
If I was Ava, I'd blow my shit.
I would lose my fucking mind. Hurry to the mansion. Well, sorry you two. See you two later. Rushed back to the two of them, and after bowing once more to Shannon, he dashed off to the mansion. I'll be going as well, then. Sorry for cutting your fun conversation short, Jessica-chan. Shannon-chan. Shannon-chan, if you ever fuck my son, I'm going to kill you. No, please don't worry about it. Come on, Shannon. Let's go. Yes. It's alright. I'm sure you'll meet someone wonderful soon, too, Jessica-san. Jessica-chan. Jessica-chan-san. Not my son. Never my son. I'll kill you. A wonderful person. Suitable for you. So if he's at the same level as me, haha, you mean a guy with bad grades? That kind of friggin' sucks. Ha ha ha. And of course you too, Shana-chan. I'm sure the wonderful man suitable for you will appear. Out of thin air. As Ava giggled and smiled, she approached Shannon's ear with a hand over her mouth as if she was trying to tell her a secret. Is she actually going to say it? Oh, is she going to... Huh? Okay, Ava. She's like...
Such a bitch for no fucking reason.
Yeah, this is like... I mean, listen, if she... Like, I think she could tell that, like, what was going on and, like, you know, like, the vibes were happening. And she's like, stay the fuck away from my son. Stay the fuck.
She's like 14.
Stay the fuck away from my son. I'm sure you'll find a perfect match for a lowly servant like yourself. Have you forgotten to be grateful for your schooling? Know your place. It's not what I didn't... George is the eldest grandson carrying father's blood. He's a person who may have to bear the burden of the Shiromiya family someday in the future. To answer that expectation, he has studied tirelessly, entered a wonderful college, and is getting wonderful grades. Do you really think you're in his league, you incompetent, unqualified, uncultured servant? Ava, you really could have just left it at stay the fuck away from my son.
Nah, she gotta drag it. She didn't get enough time trying to shoot Natsuhi.
I guess. Those malicious words all poured into Shannon's ear without spilling a drop. Shannon was like cold water being poured in me. I didn't mean... It was all whispered in secret, with the same smile as before. Jessica, you could only see Ava's expression. Didn't think it was anything about other than Ava telling Shannon some embarrassing story about love. And their secret conversation ended. Ava patted Shannon's shoulders, as though to underscore her message. Don't worry! I'm sure that you'll find a partner just perfect for you. She could have just insinuated that Sai will find a man her age. Yeah. Right? Alright, Jessica-chan. See you later. See you later! And then please tell me some story about you and Uncle Hideyoshi. No way! Ava laughed dryly and headed back to the entrance hall. Behind Jessica was cheerfully waving her hand. Shannon reflected very, very deeply on those words of Ava about knowing her place. You see, I feel like that woke something up in Shannon. Like, that's what led to the mirror-shattering shit. And her being like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, like... I think she really created her own fucking problem there. She really could have just left it at, please stay away from my son. I felt deep remorse for ending my brief moment of conceit. I had forgotten. I am furniture. Furniture isn't human. So I'm a being who must feel gratitude for even being treated like a human. I am not permitted to wish for anything more. Even if people develop affection for furniture that they're used to using, it is an emotion on the human side, and the furniture has no right to hope for that. They should just serve with simple honesty every day. That feeling I felt when talking with George-sama and Jessica-sama is a forbidden drug for me. In other words, it may have been an emotion I must not know. You have been distracted for a while now. Are you feeling ill? No, my apologies. Natsu's words too distracted were right on the mark. Even Shannon couldn't believe that she hadn't noticed Natsu until she had been called. It was supposed to be the time where she had to concentrate on the cleaning. She had just kept sighing and hadn't accomplished anything. Even if there aren't any guests, you must always be alert. Acting like this is as shameful as a servant working for Yushiro Omiya family. He's ODD, but only for Ava. God. Yes, I will take care from now on. Ed and my husband will return very soon. Have you finished cleaning the study? Have you finished cleaning the staircase? My apologies, not yet. Yes, I know, so I had Lunan do it. Okay, so there's a new person here right now. That isn't canon. While you were plodding around cleaning the hallway, she finished cleaning the study and the staircase. That's because, I wanted to clean thoroughly, so it took some time. Shannon was simple and honest, so she would always carry out her tasks seriously and properly, without any omissions. So she was always slow with her work. In contrast, Lunan skillfully cut corners where they should be cut, wherever they should be cut. She could complete her jobs with a result that looked similar to an outsider, but in a much shorter time. In other words, she was shrewd. Compared to her, we should say that Shannon, who had just talked back to Natsu when she was already in a bad mood, was not shrewd in the slightest. Of course, there was nothing Natsu couldn't stand more than a servant talking back. Her forehead creased, and she spoke sternly. And yet her speech was slow and admonitory, which was terrifying beyond measure, and finally made Shannon realize that she had said the wrong thing. In that case, you shall clean as thoroughly as you desire. Shannon, I order you to clean the reception hall right now. It is an important hall where several pictures treasured by the head are displayed, and the honored guests of the Yushiro Omiya family are invited. Clean it thoroughly so not a speck of dust remains, and so that even you are satisfied. Of course, you will finish today. Until you finish a report to me, you will not be permitted any food or rest. Understood. Yes, madam. That is good. Servants should endeavor to only use those words. Next time you talk back, I will give you an even more severe punishment, so keep that in mind. Engrave these words in your heart. Yes, madam. Thank you for your guidance. You are welcome. Boy, every adult in the Yushiro Omiya family should die, actually.
Yep.
Ah, wow. It's, every once in a while they kind of lure you away from that a little bit, but that really just like that, ooh. Beatrice did nothing wrong, really. Natsu headed down the corridor, making a gesture as if her headache was troubling her. When Shannon couldn't see it anymore, she hung her head aside. This happened because I let my thoughts take me. I might be bad at everything I do, but I should at least be able to carry out the cleaning as well as an average person can, right? Can't even do that properly. So pathetic it makes me cry. And there's something even more pathetic. Not only was I unable to perform a single bit of cleaning well, just now when Natsu was scolding me, I was envisioning him appearing and rescuing me. Only George-sama had been there. Perhaps he could have casually stepped in and saved. Sure, he would show up cheerfully, intentionally acting like he doesn't know what's going on, nimbly change the subject, and make me forget I was ever reprimanded by Natsu. I kept envisioning him, only appearing from the other side of the door, or the other end of the hallway. I envisioned the kind of person that would be the appropriate partner for him in a marriage meeting, and I envisioned how unfitting I am for him. Ava had told me that clearly. It had been repeated endlessly through my dreams. You're still clumsy as ever, Nei-san. Oh, so Kenan is here. Madam has been in a bad mood since this morning. You spoke out of turn, but you should have hung your head in silence. Wait, you heard all this? Where the fuck were you?
Spying.
Kenan was suddenly there. His footsteps were always quieter than a cat's, and he left no trace of his presence. Probably wouldn't have noticed him no matter how long he stood there.
In the closet.
The expression on Kenneth's face was hatred. The expression he was making surely made for Shannon, who didn't know how to do so herself.
You okay?
I'm thinking. So in the game Final Fantasy XIV, the Dark Knight quest line leads... Basically what it is you're being tutored by this person who you think is a Dark Knight.
Cool.
And they're teaching you, and they're going around, and you're learning how to harness your darker emotions towards a more positive end. But the big twist at the end of the Dark Knight quest line, if you want to tap out now, if you ever want to play Final Fantasy XIV, this is excellent bit of writing. Please do so. So here's
okay for me to listen.
Oh yeah, it's fine for you. You'll forget by the time you start playing, and by the time you get to that point.
Thanks.
I'm just saying that as a fact. So it turns out that person that you thought you had been studying from was a corpse, and that you're the parts of your emotions that you had repressed, as because you are the hero, you are the adventurer, you are the guy who has to be reliable, expresses themselves as another person. You becomes externalized, and you start deluding yourself into seeing them. And it turns out everything they were saying was what you were saying. So like when like this guy, Frey, freaks out at a merchant who's being ungrateful that you helped them, it's actually you lashing out at them. It's basically like Fight Club, yeah.
Fight Club's like that?
Fight Club, yeah, that's the big twist of Fight Club. Sorry.
Oh.
I don't know how this would be possible, considering the fact that we do see Canon and Shannon in the same room, and people seem to refer to them as different people, and people clearly have an idea of them as different people. But just now, this shit where he suddenly shows up, and he's talking, and he's like, I hate this, and this is all the things that, like, Shannon is kind of repressing. I don't know. I could be full of shit right now. I really could. Because once again, they have been in the same place. Yeah, they even have similar hair. Like they had the part. I mentioned this before. I actually had talked about this at one point when we were looking at the designs, and like how I'm constantly like their designs are so similar. Like they have so many same elements like throughout the same thing. Like they got the neckerchief, they got the collars, like the poofy shoulders. They and they're slightly different, right? But, and like I said, there's all this stuff where they've been in the same room and people have talked to the both of them as clearly separate entities. So I don't know how this could be possible. Maybe through witch shit. Oh my god! Oh my god! The mirror! She broke the mirror into two pieces. Okay, yeah, they're the same person. I'm almost lightning sure of this now. I don't know, maybe it was magic? Maybe magic is real or something, and I don't know how this would fit into the logical sort of thing that the Umineko really wants you to think about. But they were killed apart. No, well, Shannon's face was all smashed up. They could only identify her by her clothes. She specifically had her face smashed beyond recognition, So that could have been somebody else. Shannon is time travel trance, actually. God. Yeah, they're definitely the same person. between, like, having brought up that and how they look like they're almost mirrored versions of each other, and like that shit with the breaking the mirror in half at the start of this thing, and then the huge focus on Shannon throughout all this, it's definitely. Oh, if this turns out to be right, Eddie, you better fucking pray that I'm not right with this, because if I do, I'm gonna be insufferable forever. I'm gonna be it's gonna be miserable dealing with my ass.
I'm entertained.
Okay. He didn't know how to do the expression he was making. He surely made for Shannon, who didn't know how to do it herself. I think it's funny arriving to this conclusion. My first thought would have been they are twins or something like that. To be fair, with a lot of like these type of visual novels, I'm coming right off of like Kodaka and Ushikoshi, who have like similar levels of like fucked up twists that are like bigger jumps than this. So I don't know. I like maybe they are twins. Maybe they are, but I can't get over that mirror breaking. They specifically said 2 pieces. Madame and Lunan can go to hell. Canon is expressing everything that Shannon can't as a piece of furniture. She's the parts of herself that she feels like she's gotta like, she can't express, or she has to like keep blocked down because she's furniture or whatever. Shannon did magic stuff in one of those animation things, right? Yeah, sure, but everyone was doing magic stuff, and I don't want to read too deeply into that, because like I don't know. Fucking man, I don't know anything about that shit. I'm just reading based off. This is what I'm reading based off of like my prior experience reading visual novels, especially stuff that I like kind of know falls under the same sort of umbrella as like Ryukishi shit. And like what I have read so far, and like the levels to which I feel confident in to be able to read like subtext and foreshadowing. I do want to see Lunan, but I don't think we are. I think we're not going to see Lunan. She knows where Madame checks and only cleans those areas. Her cleaning just now was like that. I know because I was watching. She wasn't cleaning in any real sense of the word. She's just the worst kind of parasite, leeching off of your thorough work. You mustn't use such dirty words. Dirty words pollute your clean soul, Kenan. Don't use those words in front of me, at least. Alright. Kenan faced away, acting sulky. It was an astonished reaction, very Kenan-like, but I was a little happy. He got angry in my place. Yeah, like, I'm reading this, and I'm reading these, like, how it's like, he's doing this for me, and that's the exact sort of language that somebody would use if that was the case. Ooh. Yeah, I don't disagree with what Lunan's doing, but like at the same time, ooh, I feel ooh. It'd be so funny if it turns out you guessed this. Like I get this. I'm getting the same feeling in my brain looking at this and coming to this conclusion, and like that feeling of like things snapping into place, as I did whenever like. So when Eddie and I first played through the AI the Somnium Files, we did it together off stream. And like I ended up like, because like we were going through all the different routes, and we were going through, and like all these different people are dying each time, and like the killers are all like it very clearly points to the killer being like different people each time, like for whatever reason, and it's like it doesn't really make sense. And then I came up with this idea that like somehow the killer is like going from body to body, because like that's the only thing that really made sense. And I was like, feels like it could be bullshit. But the more I went and the longer it went, and like the more I looked at the situation, I was like more like, oh man, this is it. And then I was right. And like, I got the same feeling. I
don't know. I think my method is way more efficient. I go to sleep and I dream.
Yeah, you just go to sleep and you dream, and you wake up and you're like, this is it. I dreamed it. And then like, and then she says it as a joke, and I'm like, then I have to like bite my own tongue to be able to be like, God damn it, son of a bitch. I feel good about. I got a fucking brain blast, man.
Brain blast.
It also. To be fair, it also doesn't help that I've seen like several stories do this exact same sort of plot point.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm looking for this. So like I recognize the signs when they start showing up. All right. Anyways, cleaning the reception hall will be tough. I'll help. Thank you. That was the one Madame ordered, so don't worry. Don't you have your own work, Canon-kun? It's a filthy job. My story was corrupted long ago. Canon then hung his head and bit his lower lip. Just saying that you'll help is enough for me. If you don't go back to your own job, even you will receive punishment. And that would make me sad. Okay, so an important point of thing. If this is one of those things where they are not actually the same, because like this right here kind of points to the possibility that they aren't the same person. But if she doesn't realize, or if he doesn't realize that they are the same person, maybe it makes more sense. Hell's a dream. A kid I dreamed about attacking Invader Zim before that episode was teased. Incredible.
Wow.
Canon knew Canon's character well. Sometimes he didn't reflect on himself. If I don't refuse forcefully, he will help me even if it means neglecting his own job. Canon was a little sad that his favorite had been rejected. He realized that in the end, going too far would also cause her pain. He gave a single small sigh. Fine. Do your best, Ne-san. Besides, I'm also partly to blame. You aren't at fault at all, Ne-san.
No, Shannon. It is your fault for not cutting corners.
That's not what I'm thinking about, though. I'm thinking about like the logistics of all this.
Okay. My dad predicted my mom would have twins, though, which is way more useful than spoiler.
That's genuinely crazy.
Now, if only Det's family could have done that.
Yeah, famously my family, like, so I'm the oldest, and I have three younger brothers. Mom and dad mom really wanted a girl. They were fine with like everyone was fine with like me coming out like, you know, like as a guy or whatever. But like Harrison, like my little brother Harrison was born after that because they tried again, and mom was like, okay, listen, this is pushing it a little bit. 3 kids is a little much, but she really wanted that girl. So they go for it. She gets pregnant again. They go for the ultrasound. Twin boys, and we joke that that the twins were the fastest to make mom cry.
Aww, new record.
Yeah, like I tell you what, they really speed ran that shit. That's like that one speed run of Super Mario Bros. Where like solar radiation changed a pixel, caused something to glitch out in an advantageous way, and made the speed run way faster. I still think that's the craziest shit that ever happened. Anyways, sorry, I was thinking about the logistics of this. Other people know Shannon is real. Or like they know Shannon as a separate individual.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm thinking out loud.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
No, that's all good. Because people have seen him independent of Shannon. People have seen him and Shannon in the same room. Now, are they the same person in the fact that they, like, when the mirror split, like, Canon was created or Shannon was created? No, it definitely wasn't Shannon being created, because Shannon was the one who was making the wish with Beatrice. And was, like, frustrated with her circumstances. And it feels like all that negative emotion went into Canon. When the mirror split. So is he a physical manifestation? Like, is he did a second person get created when that happened? Or is it literally just as simple as like, no, Shannon really did just take her tits off? and just like whoops, I gotta change the canon. Like people start talking to Canon, and like Shannon like lifts her dress up, and underneath is Canon.
Underneath is Canon?
Yeah, like she just like goes and pulls the bottom of her dress up, and it's like instead of like Shannon naked, it's just Canon standing there. It's like, hey, what's up?
What the fuck? You made it sound like Canon was hiding behind the tits.
No. she pulls her tits off and deploys her tactical cannon.
I mean, she do got some big cannons right there.
Oh, she do. You aren't at fault at all, Nissan. No, I am. So go now. Kun's face showed that he hadn't completely accepted it, but he stopped being persistent and disappeared. Oh, this is going to be lighting my brain on fire for the next year and a half. I can't believe this. Oh, I'm going to be thinking about this constantly. Oh, there's too much. There's too much here symbolizing this sort of shit for it to not be, like, something. But, like, I can't think of how. I can't think of the mechanics behind it. And I just glance back over. I just, like, glance over to the Discord for whatever, and I see that fucking stupid message I sent you before we went live. And now my brain is, like, just got knocked completely off track by that.
You keep doing this to yourself, you know?
Yeah, well, what can I say? I love sending stupid shit and then accidentally jump scaring myself with it. Maybe it is magic stuff. And like, yeah, if we're going with the magic is real thing, then yeah, it very well could just be like a tulpa or like you know, just like a physically expressed creation of like Shannon's like split mentality. Even though Canon could have
Won't stop making noises.
I'm sorry. Even though Canon could have given words of comfort when I was down, even so I was still dejected because it hadn't been him. That simply was a sin. Far beyond any dream of likes of me could be permitted to see, know your place. Shannon, who had neglected breakfast, was already starting to feel her thoughts attenuate. It's weird how, like... I wonder if there's any kind of, like, significance from the narration going from first person to second person, from, like, to third person. Because there's this thing of, like, where she's like, this is clearly, even though Canon could have given me words of comfort when I was down, even though I was still dejected because it hadn't been him, the likes of me could be permitted to see, and then it switches over to third person. I wouldn't be thinking about this hard if I hadn't just had that fucking theory. Oh, man. Does Shannon and Canon quote unquote exist? God damn it. But if she didn't finish cleaning the reception hall, she couldn't receive Natsu's permission to eat. Told Natsu he surely had told the kitchen for that. I had to respectively receive Madame's punishment. That's right. Her position in the world is furniture, and I had been intoxicated by a dream that was beyond me. They'd finished cleaning the hallway and went into the reception hall. Maybe hunger makes some nose more sensitive.
Ooh, new room.
Yeah. Isn't this just the dining hall? Or I guess this isn't, no. Huh. It
Unless they got rid of... No, it's not the dining room, no.
Yeah, it kind of looks... But, like, if I picture, like, the table there on the carpet, maybe... But no, yeah, you're right. Canada's canonical, I guess, making jokes. Yeah, I get it. Stimulating my empty stomach all the more. Until I finished up here, I could not get any soup. I just had to prepare myself.
No soup?
No soup. Several portraits were hung in the reception hall. One of those portraits was a thought amongst the servants to hold a special meaning. And now she's had this incredibly traumatic moment. She's at her lowest. She feels like her dreams can't be thing. And then she sees Beatrice. It was the portrait of the witch. It wasn't its true name, but everyone in the mansion called it that. The name of the woman with elegant blonde hair, drawn as the subject of the portrait, was Beatrice.
Beatrice.
It's really... It isn't even like a Japanese pronunciation. It's just like they told the Japanese voice actors to be like, I need you to pronounce Beatrice as Italian as you can. Because, like, Beatrice isn't even, like, the Japanese pronunciation of it. It's the Italian pronunciation of it.
Is it really?
Beatrice. Because like tres, like you see like the tres leches and stuff like that. That like they pronounce that sort of like phonetic pronunciation is like it's like Italian.
Okay.
It was whispered that she might be the former mistress of the family head, Kinzo, that she was the great witch who had given Kinzo his legendary gold. This witch, Beatrice, master of the Night of Broken Genie. She was gracious
Stop.
to those who respected her, but she was always cursed those who made light of her. It was in Shannon's character not to neglect those rules and beliefs such as those. So she thought of the portrait as as her other master, as that person herself. She always treated it carefully, treasuring it. And become part of her daily routine to talk inside her own head to the witch which only existed in the portrait. You know, if we're rolling with the idea that Canon's like a different personality or something like that, you could very easily make a case that, like, this is becoming the seed. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. I feel like I've hit this theory, and now I'm just running in fucking crazy directions with it. I feel like I gotta calm down a little. She was furniture. Furniture doesn't complain, cannot complain. She had no right to speak her mind about her difficult days, no right to open her mouth and say those words. So she at least spoke her mind inside her heart. Those words she couldn't say aloud, she spoke inside her heart, attesting to the formless witch. Of course, the witch didn't answer. She never consoled, and she never laughed at all. Janet could only interpret that silence as she liked, though the witch was at least listening attentively. Please listen to me, worthless as I am. As Shannon wiped the dust from the witch's portrait, she spoke inside her heart. Just as Eva-sama says, I am truly incompetent in uncultured furniture. Ava, if you had literally just said, stay the fuck away from my son, you would have... None of this would have happened. None of this would have happened. I am not a person, so maybe I have no right to love. But in that case, why was I given a heart that which can know love? Shannon paused there and held back tears for a while. For a time, the sound of the rain which had started falling along with the chill air in the reception hall made her feel as though her shabbiness had increased another level. Real furniture doesn't have silly things like a heart. Oh, she's talking out loud now. So they don't have to love people, right? So they don't feel pain. If I'm just another piece of furniture, why do I have a heart? This feels a little bit much for what she could, like, see as, like, hey, he's kind of nice to me. Like, I get that Ava was, like, really fucking harsh on this, but, like, this was, like, a day.
Yeah, deadass.
Which makes me think that it's not just about George. Like, there's something else happening here. Because I don't think, like, I'm going to give this the charitable interpretation that it is not going to overplay its hand on something like this, where it's like this reaction is kind of based on just George, which seems a little unreasonable, right? Kyubey would show up if this was Madoka. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe she makes a deal with the witch, and, like, this is how, like, quote-unquote Beatrice gets into the mansion later. Actually, wait a second. They said that the Tori disappears, like, 1 or 2 years before, like, the start of the game, right? And we're assuming this happened, like, 1 or 2 years ago, right? Like, it's not too far, but it's, like, not quite close enough.
Yeah, so it's a guesstimate. It's hard.
So I get that, and I'm working with, like, the timeline we've kind of cobbled together with the knowledge that may not be the case. What episode are you in right now? I am in episode 2.
We just started. Hello, Fat Garlic 36.
Hello, Fat Garlic 36. How are we doing? My brain's on fire because I think I may have figured something. I think I figured something out, but at the same time, this is me based solely off of like having played like a bunch of other stories that has a similar sort of like twist to the one that I'm thinking of, and I'm like, maybe I'm crazy. But boy, I tell you what, my brain's on fire. All right. It's gonna be this hard and painful. I wish I had never been given this stupid heart. Ah, there it is! I can't believe she was so sad and so fucking depressed that she summoned like a version of Ava that's like on her side.
I'm dead.
It's what really true. Like, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this is really just Ava on her side.
Oh my god, what a way to describe.
To have given a heart to furniture. Amusing games that one plays sometimes. Is...
Bro, you've been stopping like every 3 seconds.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My brain is on fire. Is Beatrice just like another like another personality that like Shannon came up with? Like don't confirm anything for me, obviously. Like anyone in chat, like if I'm rambling, let me ramble. And like no spoilers, please. Don't be messing with that. But like, oh man, I tell you what, there's like, if you're reading this like literally, like if you're doing this from like a literal standpoint, like, ooh, she exists. Could you make the sub notification sound Bito saying Naruhodo? That might be that's not a terrible idea, honestly.
Make it her laugh.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Witch who never answered and laughed. My imagination hearing things? No. After this, the next words became a voice. I could hear them not with my heart, but with my ears. Humans have been continually searching for the elements that make up the world since before the Christian era. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Are you happy? You finally got her?
I was so getting so tired of all this George glazing. It is said that the ancient Greeks tried explaining the world with 4 elements of air, fire, water, and earth. And after that, over several millennia, humans added several elements to those 4, trying to explain the world with a host of interpretations: the 5 elements, the 6 elements, 7 elements, 8 elements, 12 elements. It's actually 100 something odd elements. They can never explain the one true single element. However, a single man appeared by the guidance of a star and finally explained the single element that makes up the world. What was the name of the song title, Dagger? I kind of missed it. I was so distracted by, like, Beatrice talking.
Why, you like it?
Yeah, well, like, Dagger mentioned, like, excellent song title. Golden Sneer. Okay, yeah, that's good. Do you know what it is? Who? Kind of fearfully turned around. Right there, she existed. Also, hydrogen is the ultimate element. Not an illusion. In reality, do we get character? Can we get her as a character on this list?
Damn, you're fast as fuck with that, aren't you?
Nah, I just wanted to check. I was like, how quick are they going to be on this?
I don't know, actually. Sorry.
The contrast made by the lighting made it clear that this was not just a daydream. It is love. The witch of the portrait eloquently held a golden pipe to her mouth and giggled. She giggled at the ignorance which caused mankind's thoughts to stray far from the most simple answer. That man explained everything in the world with love. That's a single element, with the smallest possible number. That man fully explained how the world was constructed. How simple and clear, how splendid, exhilarating, pleasant and thrilling.
Her little fang.
I love her little fang so much. I think the fact that she has a little fang adds so much depth to her character, honestly. Like, unironically. Girl found chemistry, shake my head. I almost read that as simple as clean. I may have mentally stopped for a second and I'm like, okay, wait, got it. Boy, the year that man was born eventually came to be known as... Are you telling me she's talking about Jesus H. Christ? Eddie, tell me she's talking about... You gotta tell me if she's talking about Jesus H. Christ.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I don't know enough about Jesus.
The year that man was born eventually came to be known as Anno Domini. That's after birth. That's like after Jesus was born.
Oh, I guess.
She is talking. Sure. I can't believe she's talking. She's like, yeah, Jesus came down and said everything is love, dog. She hadn't lost any words to speak. She thought that when first meeting an unknown guest, her first words should be to ask that person's name. Without saying anything. Like, her portrait is right back there, dog! But without saying anything, Shanna knew this person's name, so she refrained. No, surely, as the person of this island, asking this person for her name would be the greatest disrespect. Because she was the other master of this island, in addition to Kinzo. Beatrice. Indeed. I am Beatrice. The face people make when they first meet me hasn't changed after 1,000 years. The witch giggled at how Shannon's reaction didn't betray her expectations. Shannon realized that she had met with a being who mustn't be met with, and took a step backwards. That's where the wall and the portrait were, so even as she gazed at the witch, she supported the witch's portrait on her back. That's certainly an interpretation of that. Kinzo will never see her. Like, she's just been avoiding Kinzo this whole time. It's not even that she's, like, ducking around. She's just, like... She is constantly ducking in and out of the thing, and she's only coming out to people who she's like, I can trust that you're not going to tell Kinzo, right?
I love that she's, like, literally in his house.
Yeah! Your worries are due to love, which is the single element of the world. In other words, everything of this world. When that is not whole, it means the world is not whole. It is like continually scooping water into a flask with a hole in it. That's the metaphor that she used earlier on, too, when she was breaking the mirror. Even if you scoop and scoop, it is never filled, an eternal desert of the heart. The original sin that humans are founded upon and everything is made of. Understand. What Adam and Eve learned when they put the fruit of knowledge to their lips was love. She really is referencing the Bible a lot.
She's white.
Because of that, humans were chased out of paradise and became human. Which means that what makes one human is knowing love and suffering. Oh, so this is before she breaks the mirror.
You're shaking.
No, I'm not. I'm tapping my thumb. I'm shaking my leg up and down, and I'm like,
It's like Chihuahua mode.
I don't think that was unintentional to have that whole sequence happen with the mirror breaking and then Canon being there. She's not a witch, but something far worse, a missionary. She really did ghost that old son of a bitch. It's really crazy how much she really you can kind of tell that she's just like, man, I don't want to deal with him. He's awful.
You can't even blame her either.
Yeah, because, he's, too upset. Like, he's a stalker.
Yeah.
She like you give a guy gold one time, and they keep coming around, fucking asking for you to smile and shit. Which means that what makes one human is knowing love and suffering. Girl of a kind heart, you should be proud. Now that you have known it, you are no longer furniture. Friends of Kinzo do not interact. Now you are human. I recognize that upon my name. Is it hard for an inferior being to understand? Oh well.
I like to think that like Beatrice is just talking about all this, and Shannon's just standing there like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Forgive me, it has been a long time since I have spoken with a human. I shall apologize for my talkativeness. Without expecting a reply from Shannon, Beatrice laughed pleasantly for a while. I am not sure that this is sufficient for an apology, but I can use my power to grant that desires of yours if you like. Are you telling me that, like, groomception happened?
Enabler.
Are you telling me that Beatrice brainwashed fucking George into grooming Shannon? Beatrice, you don't understand. You're 1,000 years old. This is too much. This is too much for normal people. She's like, 7 years isn't that bad, right? Not for this. Not for this age gap. Not for this point in their lives. It's kind of like Moog, huh? Oh, God, I guess, yeah.
What's Moog?
Oh, where, like, Mikola, like, brainwashed Moog into kidnapping and, like, doing all this, like, weird fucking era of blood shit to him.
What is this a reference to? Elden Ring?
Yeah, it's an Elden Ring thing.
Okay.
The meaning of those words surprised Shannon even more with the witch's sudden appearance. I'm offering to bring you and the one you love together. Normally, I would demand something of equal value in return. I'm in a good mood. And you have never failed to pay your respects to me in the past. It's something worth rewarding. Do you really mean it? I do like that if my theory is correct, like my whole like canon is like actually like an alternate version of like Shannon, and like even Beatrice is like one of her like delusions or whatever, like that she is just sitting here talking to herself. Oh. However, though she had already been caught in the witch's trap, Shannon responded to the witch. With my magic, it's no trouble at all to arrange for a pair of people with feelings for each other to be joined. You do mean it, don't you? Those words almost escaped Shannon's lips. She held herself back with her final reserves of reason. A witch is a witch, a sinister being. The witch Beatrice is clearly trying to slip through the cracks in my heart and take me prisoner. That sort of temptation, which so many fairy tale picture books had warned me about when I was young, is in front of me now. Fear is a form of respect. It may be pleasant for me, but we will make no progress this way. I may be no different from this image of a detestable witch that you humans hold in your mind. However, I respond with goodwill to those who respect me. Aren't humans the same? Although I doubt any human would respond with goodwill to a hostile attitude like that. But my apologies. I didn't mean... Shannon finally realized that her hostility was rude to this guest, and so that she finally digested the words which had been spoken to her a short while ago. You are no longer furniture. Now, you are human. The more she reflected upon those words, the more Shannon felt so Beatrice could understand all of her suffering. You said something about a reward? What did you mean? I said that I can arrange for you to be bound to the man that has captured your heart. You can think of it as a form of gratitude for diligently polishing my portrait all the time. Vito does seem more like a fae. The fairy tales kind of equated hags, the fae, and witches. Calm yourself. I asked for nothing in return. I am generous. However, though I ask for nothing in return, I do have a request. Look, here it comes. The other Shannon inside her heart sent her a warning. Canon sent her a warning. That is what she had all. That is what she had been so often warned of in all those scary picture books she had read, and she was like, that even sounds like something Canon would say. Like, what are you doing? Don't trust this woman.
Yeah.
Do you know the small torii and shrine that had been constructed on a reef in the ocean near this very island? Very near this island. Shannon immediately remembered it. When you reached Rokunjima by boat, there was a torii and a shrine on a reef, which is too small to be even called an islet. She had the feeling that Kumasawa had told her its history, but she couldn't remember it very well. Driving mountaineering aesthetic or someone had built it, or prayed at it or something. Yes, I know about it, but... What is that? I will not explain everything from square one to a person who does not know of demons. To make a long story short, it's causing problems for me. There's actually a certain mirror kept inside that shrine. I want you to break it. It was a very suspicious request. So, like, if the mirror was just the mirror, and they wanted to just demonstrate the mirror itself, right? Like, they wanted to just have this be this big moment. They wouldn't have put it at the beginning. They wouldn't have, like, done, like, an in media res thing and then looped back around to it. Like, thematically, how these things work is, like, when you put something there, you want it to be something that you're constantly thinking about. This is, like, something, like, a moment that's important thematically for the rest of the segment that you're about to go through. And, like, that clear focus on division of, like, the two pieces of the mirror really, like, I tell you what, it really is coming through for me. Like, that, I swear to God that's got to have some kind of focus. Maybe that's just me coping. But it was a very suspicious request. Shannon didn't know its history, but anything that might be stored inside a shrine would have to be something sacred. She wants me to break it? Why would something as powerful as a witch be able to do that herself and be asking a human for help? Here's just sometimes in shrines, right? Yeah, exactly. There was no need for Shannon to speak her thoughts aloud. Beatrice started talking about the reasonable request that Shannon could give her answer. And Shannon also did describe herself, like, before, like, while she was breaking the stuff at the shrine, in that opening segment, as, like, two mirrors facing each other for eternity, where nothing's changing, everything is static. Which means that there's two mirrors reflecting each other. So her and Canon, maybe? Beatrice started talking about this reasonable request before Shannon could give her answer. The magic power of that mirror opposes my own. I cannot explain it well with human words. By way of example, let us speak of the differences between utensils. That mirror is a fork, and my power is soup. Soup. You see, this is my biggest piece of evidence for Beatrice being like another personality of Shannon's, because Shannon is clearly thinking about soup. Like, unironically, I think that's, like, maybe one of the biggest pieces of evidence I've seen so far. You cannot drink soup with a fork, correct? She can't drink soup at all right now. If only the imposition of that mirror was gone, I could prepare a perfect spoon, perfect for drinking soup. If only I had that, I could drink soup, or even take my way out of a rocky prison. I could even scoop eyeballs out. Is that what it was? I don't know what you're talking about. You can stab eyeballs just fine with a fork. If this is because I'm uncultured, I apologize. It comes down to this. If you spare the effort to break that most fascinating of mirrors for me, as a reward, I will grant your wish. I'm in a very good mood today. If you desire, you may change your wish, and I can give you all the gold I bestowed upon Kinzo. Just take that gold back. I can even hear the voice. I can even hear, like, the voice actors trying to do the fucking, like, sound effect laugh. It's so good. I will have to decline. What did you say? Shannon, be very careful. You're very close to hurting yourself. When she heard Shannon's words, Beatrice realized for the first time that her expectations had been betrayed. If there's a reason, tell me. If there's a misunderstanding, I shall resolve it. I'm not gonna lie. Beatrice hearing that and be like, okay, let me see if there's a misunderstanding. Let me see what's going on. Is like even though she's like clearly like upset, is like super reasonable from her. Like I'm kind of shocked about how reasonable that is. I don't really know the reason, but until today the island has been at peace and nothing bad has happened. So even if I don't make the mirror, the peace that has existed until today should continue into the future. I see. That is quite right. It's just as you said. If you don't break it, the same unbreakable days that have passed until today will continue into tomorrow and the day after. Why don't I give you an absolute guarantee? Upon my name of Beatrice, I say to you, the same unbreakable days that have been passed until today will continue unto tomorrow and the day after, and so forever in perpetuity. Shannon was seized by an eerie illusion. The mirror was most likely something to restrain the witch. So breaking the mirror should have been something done for the witch's sake. And yet it felt as though Shannon had to do it for her own sake. Felt like some premise had been switched. I had done nothing more than give you the opportunity to have your feelings fulfilled as a reward. It's up to you whether you break it or not. If you break it, I will grant your wish. If you do not break it, tomorrow's up until today will continue for all time. Your wish will not be granted for all eternity. Do you understand? Oh, perhaps drag something somewhere. Oh.
Huh? What?
No, I accidentally, this window isn't quite full screen, so I accidentally, clicked off of it and, dragged an icon from my desktop somewhere else, and I had to figure out what I, unsorted and, move it back. Do you understand? Do you understand what I am saying? You can hear her trying to do it a little bit. It's so fun. It's so good. Organ short 600 million in C minor. The witch was telling her, she was pressing her, saying to break the mirror if she wanted to be joined with George, and she was declaring that if she didn't break it, her feelings would definitely never be fulfilled. Please, stop it. I don't want to hear something like that. Cause you pain was not what I wanted. Well, feeling madness from love is the best thing about humans. You should enjoy that emotion to your heart's content. However, if you wish to borrow my power, you can break that mirror at any time. And you can yell my name and awaken me. I will definitely keep my promise. This way you should have no complaints, right? I won't force you to decide now. Take it that is easier for you? Was this deal ultimately something she could feel at ease with? Definitely not. For Shannon, who was burning with love, tormented by passion, being tempted forever by a way of escape was far too cruel a trial. Burning with love, huh? To George. I don't think... That's not me thinking about anything, I'm just like, damn. There are many other options. That's really sad. That's, really, really sad. Girl, you're 14, please.
It's because she's 14.
It's messed up that all this is happening because of George. It's happening because of Ava and George, I think, more than anything else.
Wrong, it's Jessica's fault.
You know what? It is also Jessica. It's... Those three are the main culprits. There is a time limit on the magic that can grant this wish. That limit is not mine to determine. It will be determined by your loved one himself. Do you understand? Oh, I mean, if he gets married to somebody else. I don't know. The limit is the time your loved one chooses the person he should pledge his love to. I'm a witch, but I am not a demon. Possess no spell which can tear apart two who love each other, you see? I hear that your loved one will soon be attending a marriage meeting. You may have stronger feelings for that man than anyone else in the world.
Wow!
It's a day? However, that doesn't mean you are the
Eva
most
just shoved to
appropriate.
the trash can.
God damn. I know who he will be having the marriage meeting with. That girl is the most suitable for George Ushiromiya George in the entire world. So, this makes sense two ways. One, if this is her insecurities talking to her, expressed in the form of Beatrice. Or two, it makes sense that this is a witch and she actually knows that, no, this is the best one. Either way, Ava's really killing it out here. Ava really just fucking has that shit on lock. She came from a good school, achieved good grades, and has composure and prudence. She is more beautiful than you, wiser than you, more suitable than you.
Damn.
Damn.
Rub it in, won't you?
What?
Rub it in, why won't you?
Why would an ignorant, incompetent, uncultured girl like you be suitable? Beatrice! Okay, yeah, this is the exact same that Ava said. This is definitely, like, fucking... This is definitely her subconscious talking to her through fucking Beatrice. This is a delusion. She's crazy. She's lost it. You know better than anyone. You are the most unsuitable.
I like that Shannon was like, no, I don't want to take your deal. And Beatrice had to be like, okay, switch gears.
Kind of be the Ava that is against you again. Can't blame Justin for that much, because she's a kid as well. It's George's fault for going along with it, Ammo, and well, Ava for saying that to her. What is this? One of my job interviews? Hey, Thomas. How we doing?
Hi, Thomas.
Even imagining that you and George Ushiromiya George can be joined is sinful and foolish, know your place. Okay, I feel really secure in my theory. I feel really secure in my theory right now. Have you forgotten to feel grateful for your schooling? Know your place. George is the eldest grandson carrying father's blood. You know, when I said that she became the Ava that was against her again, I didn't think that like it was like a more of a literal thing. He's a person who may bear the burden of the Ushiromiya family someday in the future. To answer that expectation, he has studied tirelessly, entered a wonderful college, and he's getting wonderful grades.
God, this is fucking my ears up.
Yeah. You really think you're in his league, you incompetent, unqualified, uncultured servant? Every time the sound effect laugh happens, I'm like, oh, this is so good.
What do you think about her real laugh?
I think it's also good, but I think there's something about the sound effect laugh that is so inherently charming. Okay, so they're definitely all versions of, all part of Shannon. I have never felt more secure in this. Also, it's really funny to have Cannon pop up in the middle of them, like, stop fighting!
His face does not look right.
Yeah. Who the hell are you? At that time, Shannon held her hand, trying to protect her heart from the blade of Beatrice's words. Cannon ran in front of her. Cannon didn't care who this woman was. As long as he knew she was an enemy tormenting Shannon, who he loved and respected as a sister, nothing else mattered. Stay back. This person is... Seems that Cannon also realized the being standing before him was the witch of the portrait, and also that she was a terrifying being. I just wanted to make Shannon take her reward, but it seems I said too much and ended up tormenting her. Oh, yeah, sorry, it was just a mistake. I didn't mean to say all that. Sorry.
Oops.
Oopsie. I shall apologize, but I will leave that as a promise as a reward to you. If you need my power, call upon me at any time. I have already told you how. Well then, with that, let us disperse for tonight. Hostile gaze may be pleasant, but they are bad for the figure, you see. I am super curious about the actual logistics of this. I feel super convinced by this sequence of events. Beat it. Just beat it. No one wants to be defeated. I don't know who you are, but you're threatening Shannon. Don't ever show yourself again. It seems that Cannon's words made the witch horribly displeased. So you do not choose your words carefully, lowborn. I am gracious to those who respect me, but brutal to those who do not. When she smiled, the witch's expression began to warp. An impressive feeling that couldn't be described with any of the 5 sentences gradually filled the room. Even though they couldn't comprehend what it was, they immediately realized it was to be something terrifying. You were swimming in the ocean. Something large went by in the water beneath you. You would want to escape to the land before you even learned what it was. That was the same as that. Please stop, Beatrice-sama. Kenosuke is still a child. I apologize for his language. Girl, you are like 14. You are at oldest 15 in this cutscene. This cutscene, I say as if it's not the whole game.
This scene, I guess.
In this scene. I apologize for his language. Cannon blocked the way to Shannon at the risk of his life. There was tense sweat on his forehead. In that moment, the witch certainly had Cannon's fate in her clutches. She didn't even need to move a finger. She had Cannon's fate so readily in her grasp that she could crush it completely with a single twist of her own smile. Cannon also understood that, which is why he was sweating, and why his knees felt weak. However, Beatrice abruptly released that feeling of tension and laughed. Very well. At your request, I will grant him special pardon. Cannon, is it? In deference to her, I shall forgive you tonight and send you off. Be thankful. Well then, we shall disperse for tonight. In parting, I shall leave a single souvenir. Hold out the palms of your left hand, you two. Beatrice grinned broadly and snapped her finger, whereupon their left hands stretched out in front of them and their palms opened against their will. It was a strange sensation, as though they were only their left hands had become someone else's. It felt like their left hands alone had become puppets, pulled by strings hanging down from the ceilings. Beatrice farts in their outstretched hands. No! What do you think you're doing? Cannon resisted, but he couldn't take back the freedom of his left hand. Don't struggle. It will not take long. Beatrice held her pipe aloft, and from inside the smoke, gold-colored sparkling dust hovered in the air. The glitter eventually became several golden butterflies. Beautiful butterflies danced freely through the reception hall, creating a fantastical and beautiful world. And 2 of those butterflies alighted on the palms of Shannon and Cannon's hands. Ow! There was a sharp pain as though they had been burned. When the 2 of them tried to examine their palms, there was no trace of their inability to move their bodies, had been there until a second ago. A bruise? What is... On the palm of her hand, a small burn mark had been made the size of a pea. Furthermore, it was shaped like a butterfly. What is this supposed to be? Apparently, Cannon had the same bruise on his hand. He stared at the witch hatefully. It is a simple greeting. I have no hidden motive. It is nothing more than a bruise, so it will heal in just a few days. It requires no treatment. This is a mark so that tomorrow you will not forget that I was truly here and I made a promise with you. The impact of a meeting with me is strong. Sometimes the next morning, people think of their meeting with me as a dream or an illusion. Think slowly and carefully, Shannon. And you should probably take a good rest, look at my mark tomorrow morning and try thinking again. I shall not force you into anything. And this led to like Shannon and like Cannon talking about like Beatrice as if she doesn't exist, or like was more of a legend, I guess. Or wait, no, that was Battler's interpretation of stuff later along the line. Never mind. You should really decide your future by your own will. However, to think that the object of your desire can be granted for such meager compensation would annoy the great artists who write plays about blighted love to no end. Well, let's meet again when the chance arises. It truly was entertaining to have a conversation again after so much time. Farewell, furniture. Oh, hey, that's not right. You just said that that Shannon wasn't furniture anymore. Come on now. Bye, lady.
Bye.
Beatrice's body, crumpled like smoke, flew away. It was golden smoke, no, a flight of golden butterflies. They scattered in all directions inside the reception hall, leaving a golden mist behind as they disappeared into thin air. After that, only the cold silence was left. The extreme silence was enough to make both of them think they might just have been daydreaming until just a moment ago, which is why the witch had left it. She left a mark out to make it impossible for them to think that this was a daydream. as Shannon and Cannon thought back on the butterfly bruises on their hands and the pain they had felt when those had been left. They stood there for some time, stunned and motionless. And from that day on, Shannon was tormented by days of suffering and conflict.
Awesome.
Wow. Good for her. Wonderful utopia.
Nope.
All right. I think this is a good place to call it.
Yep. Yeah.
Thanks, Jessica. I'm sorry. We're leaving your bit until later. All right. I'll show you whose furniture, you bitch. Yeah. All right. I wonder who is streaming right now. Oh, Hemply is streaming. Let's go ahead and raid into Hemply.
Hemply. What is Hemply streaming?
Game dev.
Hemply.
Yeah, it's rare that I get a raid into Hemply. That's going to be fun. All right. Thank you guys all for so much for coming out. Sorry about the weird title mismatch. There's a small piece of the VOD that's going to be like a different title earlier. I apologize for that. If you ever want to go back and check that, there was a couple things that I talked about, which may have some ramifications for like the theory that I had later on tonight, which I am very convinced of right now. I feel very like thematically secure in this conclusion that I've drawn. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for showing up and have fun with Happily. Goodbye.
Bye.